Now we're gonna record. Okay, great. I remember to press that button. It's all kinds of like first day flutters. So the beginning of our first video will look really bad, but that's okay. Um, no one ever started perfect. So I will be the DM, etc., etc., etc. Titles of what you have. Second week is a homebrew campaign. So if you are tuning in and you are either from any of the various groups, Facebooks, Discord channels, I don't even know, wherever you came from, and you're like, man, I can't wait for them to run in Forgotten Realms. This ain't it, son. This ain't how it is. Second Wake is a completely homebrew world using a map that was an open source from Incarnate. As with much of the art that I probably intend to use for NPCs, if for any reason you see art on the stream and you're like, man, that's cool, I think so too. But if it's ever somebody who's like, that's my art, then like message me immediately and I'll either compensate you if that's a thing or ask your permission after the fact, which is just as bad, or I'll change it. Just depends on like how upset you are. I don't want anyone to be upset, but I am a DM on a budget, and I say that with a very big budget machine. So I guess that doesn't really track, but regardless. So our hope is that you will be joining us in on Mondays. We're going to try to fill a schedule of Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, till about 10, 11 at the latest Eastern Standard. It's a work night for a lot of people here and for our 6 players. So it is what it is. We'll get into meeting our 6 players very shortly. Just some quick things for people who are tuning in, quick things for my players. We don't do the talking over thing, so we're going to try our best to not assault your ears by like shouting and screaming. I'd recommend probably not 100% on your volume, but that's for anything that you watch streaming. Viewer beware on that end. I don't check chat. I'm not going to look at chat unless someone messages me on like my personal device and is like, some guy is talking about hate speech and whatever, then I'll check it and I'll ban you, and then one less viewer, who cares. That's just how it is. If you know us personally or whatever and you're like, man, wouldn't it be funny to troll people mid-game? Man, your name is just tilting me. I would suggest you don't. I'm not going to pay attention to any of your advice. If you message me after the game and you're like, you did this rule wrong or you did that thing wrong, then I'll just tell you that you're wrong, because that's how D&D works. DM has the final say, and then we'll go back and be like, I'd like to issue a public apology to this guy who I offended, or girl, or they, them, whatever. So just keep that in mind. Let's get into it. That's pretty simple. Rules for chat: don't be evil, don't be etc. etc. I should probably put those in the Twitch. Don't be a mean person. Any constructive criticism you might have, go ahead and direct it right to my face. My players don't care about your constructive criticism. They're all good people, and I vouch for each and every one of them, except for Colt Honeycutt, but that's because I can give him crap. So he's an all right guy. He's not great. So yeah. Yeah, I know. He kind of sucks.
This is how it starts?
Mm-hmm. I gotta get that first in.
The first thing is an insult to call?
Yeah.
Well, no, the first thing was a small diatribe about how I don't value other people's opinions in my rules ash shirt. Or hat. Jeez, this is a shirt. I wear a shirt on my head. So yeah, simple as simple does. So, for Second Wake, where are we? What are we doing? How do we get there? For both my players and for the audience, let me bring you in. Second Wake is a campaign setting found in the Everweald, a campaign that is a massive born continent with several island chains. Our story is going to begin where it has begun for our players. They have already 2 weeks ago done a session 0. So with that session 0, they've gotten to meet each other's characters. They've gotten a baseline for who they are, what they know, certain NPC interactions, certain other player interactions that are from their backstories and things of that nature. A lot of that we hope to express on the table and more or less here live. The big thing again is that no one here is a professional actor. No one here is a professional voice actor. Nobody here is a professional whatever you want to call it. I'm barely professional in my professional life. So, don't expect the world. If you come into this and you're like, they didn't do XYZ, then there's like 8,000 other streams. Go have fun. But so with the Everweald, we'll be starting in Hunter's Reach, specifically the city of Direwood. And I don't know. Let me see if I can do this. If I do this, I don't think I can zoom. No, that breaks the whole stream. Nope, don't do that.
Oh,
Yep,
you
we're not
can't
doing
move
that
the
one.
map in the back.
I think I could. I just don't know which layer it's on, and that's my fault. Easily enough, I think I could just. Nah, forget it. You guys know where it's at. So if you look to the northern part of your screen, right under the title Second Wake, you will see Hunter's Reach, and then right below it you'll see a small city known as Direwood. Direwood is the home city to our 6 players, their current residence, and their current place of employment. Our group today is a member and otherwise crew of individuals known as the Weaver's Chosen, a select group of individuals that are possessed of various attributes, abilities, backstories, backgrounds, and training that would make them acceptable adventurers. People who are considered to be Weaver's Chosen are those who are effectively upholding the spirit of the 3 realm Weavers, which we can get into one of these days. Maybe I'll do like a lore dump one day when we get far enough in the story. Who knows? But the players know that's the important part. You, the audience, ask your questions later. Um, Specifically, our Weavers Chosen, these 6 individuals here today, are the chosen of a Lady Tristina Gulanti, who is their patron, their employer, and currently their matron of the current residences in which they reside. The Lady Tristina Gulanti has now, for several years, for some of our players especially, nearly a decade, oversought a holding ruling position of power within the Direwood, being that the Direwood itself is a neutral city that falls beyond, just beyond the boundary between the plains of Idrin and, of course, the far north. It is a place that is ruled by a ruling oligarchy. So it is a council of nobles and nobility that rules over the city, and many of these high-standing nobles utilize their power, wealth, and extensive resources to fund the various groups of weavers chosen that they take within their household. Effectively, uh, small religious context in that sense, but primarily it is a city that is set to be both an adventuring hub as well as a topical point for would-be folks looking to prove themselves in the eye of both the gods and many other large names within the continent. So, to that, our first scene. Where we find our campaign beginning is within the hollowed halls. It's a fun way to say that. Within the manor state of Lady Tristina Golanti. You 6, primarily you 6 Weavers Chosen, have all been now for quite so many days. For some of you, a little under a year. For others, again, quite a bit of time. You have served faithfully under Lady Tristina Golanti. As we found in Discovery, many of you are accustomed to small jobs, odd jobs, errands, things that are, for some of you, might be considered to be a little beneath your station, beneath your ability. Truly, you're awaiting at this point a time in which to prove yourselves, and this morning is no different. You all, after a long rest, have awoken within the ladies' manor home, exited from your various rooms and areas, and have set to the mess hall to begin so much a prep, but a waiting. You fill your bellies with today's breakfast of figs and small delicacies of hand foods. Get me there. And as you guys do so and you enter in, you await the presence and arrival of the lady herself, as today has been rumored, or at least whispered, that there will be a new mission for you all and a chance to finally prove yourselves beyond simple errand folk. In this instance, if we could start, we'll start based on where we're at in the thing. JJ Lightning, go ahead and describe yourself to our audience and to your compatriots here, who you are, why should we care, and what do you look like?
Let's see. My name is JJ Lightning. I am a shifter. I've got big ol' antlers and some big ol' rabbit ears. Uh, I come from a moonshining family just outside the city, and I'm looking for some good times and some adventure out there. It's just too boring. I've been doing the same thing my whole life. Just trying to make a name for myself.
Fair enough. As you find your seat, your breakfast and otherwise meal for the morning, sitting not too far off from the long sated benches of the Hallowed Hall, is Colt Honeycutt. Colt, go ahead and describe yourself to our audience and to your fellow players.
So my name is Colt Honeycutt. I am a 36-year-old hobgoblin fighter. I'm a little battle hardened, and I've done some things that I regret in my past, but I'm looking to do good in the world, and that's why I've joined the Chosen. I think that's enough. Oh, I got red skin too. I don't know if that matters.
Matters if you're a hobgoblin.
Yeah.
All right. So that is Colt Honeycutt. Next on down, we have Velithil. Velithil, go ahead and describe yourself to the group.
I am Belethil Dowenbay. I am a high elf, studied wizard in the School of Necromancy, and I traveled here to the Direwood to seek out some opportunities, discover the secrets of the world, and better myself.
Easily done to say, harder to do in practice, but your time will come, as will everyone else's, hopefully. Meeting you all as well, the rounding out the fourth member of your group is Morgan. Morgan, go ahead and describe yourself and introduce yourself to our group. Oh, is she muted? Did I mute her?
No, I'm
Oh,
muted.
no.
You're good.
Oh, okay. Phew. It's like I did it. I did it
Morgan.
wrong.
That's okay. I'm Morgan Quinlan. I am a half elf with little dainty pointy ears and brown hair. Pretty common looking. And I am here to repay a slight against the lady.
It is an easy thing to do to earn your way back into good fortune. And hopefully, someday you'll get to really express that. Below, rather lower on the totem pole, so to speak, both physically and in a team sense, we have Orville. Orville, go ahead and describe yourself to the group.
Why, thank you, sir. I'm but well, I'm quite tall for a goblin, but I'm a little green-skinned man who the lady has seen in her graces to give a second chance after, I don't know, a nice long life of drinking and fighting. And I can't thank her enough for it.
Very well. So again, another trouble past on this side, and I think that's kind of our trend. Our left side of the stream, we have people that are obsessed with learning, honor, humbleness, and on the right side of our stream, we have a lot of people that owe a lot of things. Speaking of somebody who has very much owed something to someone else, Bucky, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Bucky. I'm a satyr, hexblade warlock of the Ever Oak, and I'm always down for a good time, regardless of what anybody says.
People be damned if they say otherwise to you. But with that, Bucky, you settle in. The six of you find yourselves again enjoying a somewhat bountiful breakfast. What you've come to expect or otherwise be considered the normal brunch and tastings of the hall of the Lady Galanti. As you do so and you more or less get settled in, you make progress on your breakfast and otherwise filling your stomachs. You do see the lady herself enter into the hall. Let's see if this works out breaking things. Boom, we did it, Reddit. I think we got it. The Lady Galanti enters in some quite nice attire. She has always had a flair for the dramatic, and her outfits and attire often are a mixture between a flaunt of wealth as well as a position that she holds within the city as part of the ruling oligarchy and decision makers of the area. As she somewhat drifts into view from your table, you do note that there is a rather stout and short individual to her right, and she more or less beckons as she walks forward. You hear her voice kind of break through the sitting silence from just your general clattering tableware. You hear, "Ah, yes, of course, and as I said to you, Mr. Lamont, these are Well, I won't say they're the finest individuals that I've had in my employ, but they're definitely in the realm of affordability for your endeavors. She turns to your group. She goes, "You there, my chosen. I have a task for you if you're up for it, or if instead you wish to simply continue about your day with small affairs. I have a Mr. Lamont here who would be ever so excited by your presences to assist him in a small traveling endeavor."
Of course, lady, we're always happy to serve. It is what we're here for.
Indeed, and it is good that you have not forgotten such things, Velithil. I, again, often do not trust such delicate affairs. To you all, as my chosen, there are a number of other individuals under my employ that, in time, have more adequately proven themselves, but I find a bit of the Weaver's mercy upon this day. I see that there is an opportunity for the fledglings to finally leave the nest. So, to that end, our Mr. Lamont, and she gestures again to this rather short man. As many of you guys take him in, you note him to be about just under 4 foot tall, definitely having a number of striking resemblances. You'd almost call him a halfling, but he's just a bit too tall for that. As the man kind of looks you all over, you can see that he has a bit of a rugged look, definitely still wearing traveling attire, clad in bits and scraps of leather armor, and kind of just sits, not so much nervously, but definitely has an air of authority across him. The lady turns back from her gesturing to him and looks to the six of you, and she goes, "Our Mr. Lamont here will require some assistance in traveling, as I alluded to. He has a wagon that is needing to head up further north. We will need, at this time, a very simple endeavor. You shall follow him on the 3 days' journey to the city, and with that, ensure that he and his cargo arrive safe and sound. There should be very little on the road this time of year, and if we leave and have you all exit the property this morning, we should be able to beat much of the hunting traffic that exits from here. Might you all have any questions about this, or my expectations?"
Out of character?
Yeah, go for it.
When she says the city, does she mean Grim Village, or are we talking somewhere further?
No, yeah, so your city to the north is always going to be Grim for the most part. Let me see if I can pull it up. I really want to see. I wonder if I could. Let's see if I can do this. This might be fun. Give me 1 second to see if I'm able to do this or not. Let's close that. Let's do. Let's do this. There's that. And can I do? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we'll F5 this. Let's see if it pops it up or not. Yeah! Yeah! Heck yeah! We did it, Reddit. Alright, so this will help for the viewers too. Woohoo! So, you all currently find yourselves again within Direwood. The village to the north is Grim Village. It is the small hunting city just to the north of it. And as she has spoken of, it is about a 3 days journey north to arrive at Grim Village. The path is a fairly well-traveled one for most folks, but as she has said, being that you all are within the Hunter's Reach to the north, it is a prime hunting ground for a number of other noble houses and members of the oligarchy that are decision-making. Many of them utilize their chosen in ways to hunt in the off time between requests, adventures, or otherwise information gathering to collect on pelts and other small miscellaneous goods that, while being much in the same way as you all, a bit underneath many of the Weavers chosen in terms of ability, it is still a money-making opportunity for most folks, and being so close to a natural resources as fresh game allows for a myriad of opportunities for those who will kind of partake in those sorts of things. Let's do that, and let's do this. Hey, there we go.
Does Mr. Lamont look particularly nervous or anything?
Go ahead and give me an insight check. And for everyone at home, I am having them roll their dice however they want. I don't care enough to make sure people aren't flubbing rolls. Some days you just need a win.
Just checking everything real quick.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, definitely like having rhythm in the background. It's a nice little subtle pump it up a little bit.
Exclamation!
Of course.
Oh, I can't switch. Ah! Ignore that.
20?
You said 20?
Yes, sir.
All right. As you look over Lamont, this, again, rather short man, you don't get a sense of nervousness from him, per se. You more have a feeling of anxiousness. Either whether it be from the road and travel ahead or something else, there does seem to be a bit of antsiness to him in a sense.
Thank you.
So,
Are there any particulars to what you're transporting, if I may ask?
she kind of looks to you and looks back down to Mr. Lamont, and she goes, "Sir, you may have the floor." And he kind of like clears his throat, walks forward, chest out a little bit, again, about 4 foot tall, and looks to you all and goes, particularly, there is a, not particularly at all. We're moving a number of cured meats to the north, mixed in with some recently churned butters. These are trifles of various short goods that we need to offload into Grim Village. From that point on, I think I can more or less handle myself. We just need to ensure that these items are cared for. It's been a while since I've made the trek north, and especially with my movement, so to speak. It would always be well to have well-trained guards at this point.
Sounds rather straightforward then.
Yes.
Bucky asks if there will be any wine on this trip.
As you say this, you kind of get a how do I describe it? A viper's glare from the lady, and she looks to you and she goes, "Bucky, I can assure you that all of the wine you bring on this trip is the one that will be in your pocket, and it shall not touch your lips through the entirety of this journey. I don't want a repeat of our earlier endeavors. I don't need to have to explain anything to the general authority of the land. I should hope."
Bucky just nods.
Good. Enough to say. Mr. Lamont, if you will, please ready your wagon, and I shall have my chosen join you at a later time, later this afternoon. Or, I'm sorry, later this morning. Apologies. I'm looking at all kinds of charts and stuff. It's terrible. Go ahead.
Sorry. One more. Oops, wrong accent. I forgot my accent.
Just
one
pick
more
one.
question for you.
Yeah.
Commodore. So the meats and butters, are they sealed in containers, or is that something that we need to, for example, or my concern is that they may attract other wildlife, or maybe spoil if we don't get there in time if we're halted. I hate to sound paranoid. But,
Mr. Lamont kind of turns and looks to you, and he goes, "Well, I'll tell you, I wasn't quite expecting you to carry it in your hands or in your mouth. No, we have barrels and a number of, containers, so to speak, that are quite well sealed. And there should be no need for pests or otherwise to catch wind of anything that might they be contained within. Again, a simple journey, and I welcome your own paranoia with my own, as a simple trip and should have no issue. Of course, there is always the unforeseen danger of this world."
fair enough.
And he turns and looks and he goes, "I will take my leave and prepare the wagon, and I will look forward to traveling with you all these next few days." He,
Of course, thank you, Mr. Lamont.
he
Yes,
nods
thank
and
you, sir.
takes his leave. The lady looks to the rest of you, and just as Lamont kind of exits the hall, she looks to each of you and more or less kind of has a knowing look, and she goes, "Now then, as I spoke and introduced earlier, while Mr. Lamont is of the persuasion that you all will be escorting him as your primary concern, I merely needed him to fund your expedition to allow you to head to Grim Village on my behalf. There is a more pressing matter. While you are able to deliver Mr. Lamont, he is not our primary concern at this time. Within Grim Village, there is, well, a group of individuals that I need you to rendezvous with. Specifically, I need you to find a Trenton Quas. Last name is Qas. Trenton is a half-elven associate of mine who has come into, well, recent findings of a magical sort. He has a package, and very much an item of great concern to this estate. And of course, by that way, I mean of great interest to myself, and thusly to you. Once you arrive within Grim Village, I need you to locate Trenton Quas, and I need you very much to secure this item and bring it back to me. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yeah.
you said he was an associate of yours?
Very much so. My name should be enough to enlighten him as to the reason of your visit. He should have his package to you, and it should be no larger than a small loaf of bread. Think nothing of it. It should be quite already wrapped, handled, cared for, and paid in advance. So you need only take it within your possession and bring it back to me here at the estate. And as always, I shall have your salaries available for you for the completion of not one but 2 jobs. Very well then.
My lady,
Yes, Velithil?
if I may inquire the nature of this magical item?
You may inquire to the other 5 members of your accompaniment. But otherwise, I believe that the details have been provided to you at this time.
I understand.
Oh, you are so understanding. These last 10 years have truly been a joy. Don't worry, your time will come. And she kind of gives a small nod and makes way for that. As she reaches the doors of the hall, she turns back to you all and she goes, "Chosen, do make sure to wash your hands before exiting. I would hate for Mr. Lamont to get the wrong impression that we are uncivilized and uncouth. Be on your best behavior, and know that you carry the honor of my house upon your shoulders. It is a heavy house, and I expect strength in this endeavor." She opens the doors, leaves, and closes both doors behind her, and you all are left to finish your breakfasts by yourself. Anything you guys want to get accomplished before heading out on your journey, please let me know, and we'll go from there.
As far as equipment goes, are we able to buy any equipment off the bat?
Yeah, if you'd like to. You always have your starting gear, which I thought I went through in my handout, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Warlock starting gear for Hexblade is pretty much non-existent.
It's because you can make whatever you want, Bucky. If you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Okay.
But
good
no,
to know.
but ridiculously. Yeah, if you have anything from like starting gold or what have you that would be in your starting equipment. If you have gold or any other things you want to try to accomplish, just let me know what it is and we can figure it out from here.
I'm looking to get a whip, a chain shirt, and a shield.
A whip, a chain shirt, and a shield, he says. Do you have the gold for it?
Yes, I believe so.
And
I start with 40.
Okay, then no you don't. You start with those 3 items you wanted.
Okay. Awesome.
Simple as simple does. There we go. All right. Anything else anyone wants to get taken care of? Discussions to have? Anything before you guys actually go and meet up with Lamont?
Sir.
Yes, Orville. What do you need?
I want to pull Morrigan aside for a second here.
Oh. Yeah,
Yes,
you
Orville?
guys.
You seem to have a knack for getting into things. Something about this fella just doesn't seem to add up. I ain't never known meats to need 6 armed escorts across a track like this. What do you say to trying to get a better idea of what this guy's actually bringing with him at sundown once he's asleep?
Yeah.
Say I keep an eye out for you.
You want me to check out the wagon, see what's in there?
Yeah, once he's asleep tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Do it.
Long and short of it. So yeah, the pair of you make that discussion. Anything else any of you guys want to get taken care of? Once?
I'm good.
Everyone's good? Pew, pew. Cool. I'm like having to check between like chat and then setting up. It's different. Now I'm gonna have to probably set up with somebody and just be like, fine, you're right. I need 15 monitors. I need a screen of monitors and have one window open on each one of them. But regardless, so you all exit the main hall. You set out into the open courtyard of the estate of the Lady Galante. You do see this hitched wagon pulled by a single horse for Mr. Lamont. You can look it over, and you do note that while it is an open-top wagon, there is very little open about this wagon. Various heavy-set crates and large casks, seemingly sealed and hammered shut, sit lined and tied with heavy rope across the sides of the wagon. Lamont stands beside his tall steed and looks you all over, and he goes, "Well then, Chosen, are you..." And he seems to look for the word at this point. He goes, "Ready to escort." Yes.
Yes, we're prepared. Are you?
Ready to go.
Sure thing, sir.
I roll up my sleeves and give a nod.
Looks across the lot of you, and he goes, "Good. And you can get the sense that he's not really used to being in charge of probably anything at this point. Less so 6 people who are signed on as Weaver's Chosen. He kind of just awkwardly shifts a little bit, and he goes, "Well then, we will be off, and we'll head north and to Grim Village, and good. Yes, this is good." And he goes and turns, and you hear him calling the horse. He takes the reins in his hand and begins kind of leading the wagon off from the front of the estate. He bids you all to follow. And with that, if you guys could, please tell me how you guys want to walk or otherwise travel with this wagon. If you want to take up a scouting position, if you want to be behind, if you want to be on either side of it, just let me know so I can have it in my notes. Then I know where you guys are at.
Can I be like front right wheel?
Okay. Front right wheel. Right wheel. All right. Where do you want to be, Velithil?
Is it all walking positions, or is there anywhere on the cart that we can be posted up?
If you'd like, you can sit on one of the crates that are in the cart, but in your opinion, it would probably be bad manners to do so, unless you have no respect for this guy.
No, I more meant if there was anywhere else that would be. So I'll post up directly behind the back of the cart.
Okay. Orville, where do you want to be?
Either all the way at the front or all the way in the back.
Well, you pick. 50-50.
I feel like we can put Colt up front and I'll take the back.
Okay.
I'll trail 10-15 feet behind Velithil.
Okay. Colt, you're good with leading?
Yeah.
Okay. I literally wrote Colt is in the Colt position. And I was like, that sounds right to me. Bucky, where do you want to be?
I'll be in the back alongside Velithil.
Okay. And finally, Moore, where do you want to be?
I feel like before you have 3 in the back and 2 up front, I should probably stray towards the middle, front-ish.
Okay. All right. So you all take up your positions. You exit from the front of the Lady Gilithil's estate. You make way through the city of Direwood, and as you do so, you find many familiar sights. within your vision. You look and you can see the various landscapes as they kind of form into this city. While it is still, by all intents and purposes, a city, it's both in size and scope. You do note that much of the land seems to be segmented into various acres that are controlled independently by a number of the noble families and patrons that house the various, well, would-be or so-called Weavers Chosen. And much of your experience, while you have seen various members of Weavers Chosen championed under certain banners of different houses and nobility, do and accomplish great things, speak of fantastical or otherworldly magics, or either heroic deeds and slays. There are also those who are much like you, Weavers Chosen, who are primarily obsessed with tasks, running, gophering, and otherwise ensuring that the peace is kept on a day-to-day basis for the upper crust of nobility. In this instance, you all do note that the separation of much of the acreage, royal estates, and otherwise collection of foundation that makes up the area of Direwood, you do pass by the rudimentary wooden post and gates. These gates more or less just seem to deter much of the local wildlife rather than actually serve as a defensible position. You pass by on your way to the northern gates. You come into contact, or rather view, of the central area and marketplaces. Many of the passing merchants, those who work in small trades and various small shops, exist within the center of Direwood itself and Direwood proper. You come into view of it as you are cresting along towards the northern gate. Let's see here. Can I turn that on? And it pulls up. And then do this and that, and I should have control here. Yeah, we're gonna figure this out one way or another. Bam. All right. So you head out through the northern gates, which leads you to more or less a northeastern position. It exits out just on the other side of the river itself, and makes way towards the split path of the Direwood into the Hunter's Reach. As you approach this northeasternly gate, you see an individual clad in a myriad of colors. It is a bright royal blue, a pure pearl white, and a bright golden yellow. And you can see this individual bearing the various cresting symbols of the realm weavers. And as you approach the gate, you can see that much of the kind of local assigned chosen from the various houses of the area begin to work to open the small gate. You see this individual approach in their tri-colored outfit, and they move with open and extended arms to you. You hear a somewhat booming voice as they call to your group, and they say, "You there! Glory upon you, and may the light of the triumvirate shine upon your quest. As you leave Direwood today, know that the light of the weavers themselves guide your hand through unseen means. Truly, you are blessed and you are chosen. Might I impart the blessing and guidance and protection of the realm weavers upon you this day?"
Yes, sir. I'd be honored.
Yes, and
That
so
for us.
so very much would I. And he reaches down to his robe and pulls a very small wooden box with a single slit cut in the top, and he kind of gestures it towards you, Colt, and you can hear a small kind of jingling of coins.
Oh, I have. Colt eats this shit up, so he is going to put 2 gold in there.
2 gold. Okay. You put 2 gold into the box, and he sees the glint of the gold coins hit. You can hear it land upon a stack of other coins that are within this very small wooden box. He looks forward and goes, "Oh, quite generous are the chosen. Truly, you would be honored in the light of the 3 of the triumvirate themselves. Might I give the blessings of the great makers upon you and your company. May you go with strength, honor, and the purpose to know that you are doing good in this world." As this individual speaks, you all can feel a small surge of vitality move through your party. Each of you are affected by the Aid spell, which increases your hit points by 5.
That's THP, right?
I think it's actually. I think aid might be full hit points for the day. Let me double check. We'll do it the fun way. Yeah, so your hit point maximum and your current hit points go up by 5. It is actual healable hit points, and it lasts for the duration, and one of these days everything will load. It
8
lasts for 8
hours.
hours. Yeah. Bam.
Bucky's gonna take this opportunity to cast False Life on himself as well.
Okay. So you bolster up and cast False Life. You all can see this kind of shivering chill, kind of hair standing on end of this large satyr man, kind of move through him and course as this. I'm pretty sure it's necrotic energy ensnares and enshrouds your soul and guards it against death.
Bucky, you know that only lasts for an hour, right?
Yes, but I can cast it whenever I want, so I'm
Oh,
okay.
how delightful. I always forget your skills. And if we're starting on our day of travel, I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. As the buff spells start coming out, you see this individual clad in the triumvirate colors of the Realm Weavers kind of look forward to you all, and he goes, "Truly, I sense great things from you all. You all will be magnificent. Yes, go in peace and blessings of the triumvirate upon you." And like a very, not so much crooked smile, but an earnest one that seems forced, but in the same kind of way that a customer service smile at Walmart is forced. Like, there is a sense of happiness and joy there, but it's been beaten out of this person probably years in the making. It's more customer service than it is lip service. But with that, the gates open, and you guys set out on your journey ahead. As you guys make way, you soon pass through the wooden gates. The wagon of Mr. Lamont creaks and groans as it moves from the paved dirt and kind of fallen stone roads to more of a dirt path that leads to the Hunter's Reach. Many of you know that due to conservationist efforts here in the north of the Hunter's Reach, many of the decisions from the oligarchy of Direwood, and especially the current ruling mayoral system of Grim Village, have oft decided that to best preserve nature, the roads would simply be well-traveled and not actually paved roads. There seeming to be no need for that. It is quite a long path, and there's not much between here and there other than hunting grounds. So, you all make way and take off from the gates of Direwood. You begin your journey, and over the course of the next few hours, you set off from the northeastern gate until you reach the somewhat of a crossroads, leading further east and then turning and veering north, following the great river of Hunter's Reach. You all veer to the left, or veer to the north rather, as Lamont guides his horse and wagon, and you all begin off on your journey for the remainder of the day. For the most part, your first leg of the journey bears nothing out of the ordinary. Towards about the middling part of the day, you do come across and otherwise see a number of hunting parties that are staked out, waiting to catch small game, prey, and other bountiful harvests that are here and present within the north. But day does fall into night rather quickly. A full work day of effort and foot traffic commences you to a little under about a third of the way of the journey. Doing so, Mr. Lamont begins to pull a number of camping equipment, primarily a small tent for himself, and a number of heavy-set bags that can be utilized as various coverings and pillows. As you all are setting up for the evening, Lamont does turn to you as he's erecting his tent and looks to you all over. He goes, "Well, that was a grand first leg of the journey. You all are worth every penny. Truly, I will rest easier knowing that your vigilant eyes are ensuring that no one harrows our journey." Yes.
Of course.
strong silent types. I understand. He adjusts himself and kind of like dusts off the small grime and dirt of the road. He goes, well, I will be turning in for the evening. If there is anything out of the ordinary, I have placed, and he turns to his tent. You see a small kind of cat's ire bell hanging from the front of his tent. He goes, I've placed this bell, this chime, outside of my tent. Simply ring it, and I will spring to a very groggy awakening. But I will be there, and I will be ready to watch you defeat evil, or whatever it is that we've chosen to. Thank you, and I'll see you in the morning. And he goes and turns and enters into his tent, more or less just self-concerned at this point, rather than with what you might or might not be doing. What do you all want to do? The campsite is more or less set, and by set I mean Mr. Lamont has set it up for himself and tied the horse down to a small stake in the ground near his tent. The wagon itself has been unhitched from the horse just to allow it to kind of relax without the added pressure on the back hind legs from where it is arranged.
Bucky's gonna play his pan flute while everybody sets up.
Okay. Go ahead and roll performance, Bucky.
A 9.
A 9. Okay. You're still learning those notes. You know, no one's gonna say a satyr can't play a pan flute. But the way that you play it is definitely the southerner way of playing it, not the northerner way of playing it. It's just, you know, different qualities of music. For some of you, this it's almost the I would assume at a 9, it's about the equivalent of a guy at college who just got an acoustic guitar and he's trying to play, you know, Wonderwall, but he doesn't quite know all the chords. And there's not that many of them, but it's just kind of like pluck pluck. Oh wait, hold on. Pluck 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 pluck. Oh wait, hold on. Pluck 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 pluck. You get a tune out, but it isn't the smoothest thing ever.
I don't like to play sober. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, clearly the issue is you're not drunk yet. For the rest of you, what do you guys want to do for as far as for setting up camp? Are we laying on the ground? For those of you that have supplies, are you setting up around the tent, offward of it? Anything that sort? Is everyone going to sleep, or do you guys want to set up a guard?
JJ is gonna give a little cheer to Bucky while she sits there on her bedroll and kind of just plucks along at her lute.
Okay.
Very casually, but she's gonna set up more so towards the cart.
Okay. So closer to the cart.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll performance for an accompaniment to Bucky. Oh, I have to switch rhythm over.
That's
oh
a
no.
22.
22. Okay. So yeah. Not so much to say out. Let me see if I can do this the right way. 1 second. We're gonna lose cameras for a split second. Let's do that. This. Play. That. Boom.
I'm still here. Oh no, wait.
There we go.
I'm still here.
Cole, you almost survived.
Almost made it. There it goes. Okay, slow but steady wins race. So you don't move for a full upstaging of Bucky, but definitely your lute notes help fill in the various gaps when Bucky is stopping or checking to see the location and presence of his fingers across his flute. You do manage to make the rest and otherwise slow reach into a night's rest a bit more bearable than one man on a flute trying to live the dream. Yeah, so for the rest of you, what do you guys want to do?
I want to signal to Morgan that tonight might not be the night. We might want to hold off for another 24 hours.
I suppose I could. Just in case.
Yeah, let's
Build up trust a little
let's
bit.
build a little bit of trust here. Additionally, are there any medium-ish rocks or logs nearby?
You don't find so much as rocks or logs, even stones. It's kind of picked through. You all are still on the main road, just a bit offset from the heavily traveled area. What you find primarily are kind of just unkempt and overgrown grasses, but you don't venture, at least your campsite hasn't ventured so far as to kind of reach into more of the wild, unkempt, and truly overgrown areas and parts of the road. Um, Best you can find on your end would probably be like small discarded stones and pieces that might have fallen off of different carts from time to time. You're finding like maybe like a small nut or other pieces of like scrap metal or scrap wood that kind of litter the area, maybe from months or even you know uh, almost a year or so of just collected debris that sits there from wagons or people who are passing through that might have either gotten into an accident or bumped the wrong way or simply just neglected the repairs until they were broke down on the side of the road. That's kind of all you really see there. Think
Okay.
of kind of the collections you see along like I-75. There you go.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
That's-
somehow there's always broken glass. No matter where we go, no matter how we stop, there's always broken glass. It's like someone just litters it on the side of the road.
Bucky.
It's just Bucky.
Saw me.
I kind of want to try and get away from the group and see if I can get under one of these discarded pieces of wood and see if there are any tasty bugs or otherwise hanging out under it.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Alrighty. It's a 13.
13, okay. You spend the better part of about 10 or so minutes looking around the area of your campsite. You venture further still, more or less doing the kind of go a little bit further, turn and look, check, gauge it. You're still good. Walk a little bit further, check. You carry on that for a few minutes. Eventually, you do come across what appears to be kind of the broken slat from the tail end of someone else's wagon. By the looks of it, it's been sitting here and is caked in a few inches of mud. You more or less wiggle it, pull it, and tilt it forward, and you do see what would be prime eating for anyone trying to collect bait for a fishing rod or anything of that sort. But the worms kind of wiggle and twist in a kind of nest fashion underneath this piece of discarded wood.
Yeah, that looks like dessert to me.
Oh, goblins, the joy of goblins. Yeah, you easily scoop it up. You have we'll say a late night snack. You definitely have eaten tonight. If you're going to slurp down some worms, you're good to go.
Awesome. I'm gonna head back to camp then.
All right. So while you're doing that, Colt and Morgan, what are you guys doing?
I'll set up my bedroll kind of near the cart as well, just to keep a little light lookout, just in case.
Okay.
And snack on some of my jerky that I have.
Ooh, fancy. You're not gonna go find worms?
No thanks.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
there.
Fair
It's all
enough. Fair
you.
enough. All right then. So Colt, what's the plan, my man?
All right. So, I'm gonna take a look around. Then I'm gonna go to each person, over to each person when they're near camp, and I'm gonna take out my little field notebook. I will approach Bucky. Hey, Bucky. I'm just going ahead and taking a watch. What the hell's the word? I'm looking to see who wants to take watch at what time. If you want to tell me if there's a time that you prefer.
Oh, I'll stay up. I'll stay up tonight. I'm okay with taking the first watch.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, then I'll move over to Orville. If he's there. Hey, Orville. I'm trying to take watch orders. Is there Bucky's taking first watch, and I'm open to anything right now. So, is there
I'm
sometime
not fussed one way or the other. Whatever works for you, sir.
you ain't got to call me sir. I appreciate it though. That's real nice. All right. I'll put you down as somewhere on the left of these notes. No, I'll just go over to each person so we can just discuss. This is going to take a while. I feel like I'm steamrolling right now.
Hey, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, you go around, you collect whatever order people would like to be in for late night watches, and you get everyone kind of settled up or settled in, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you work the middle management position of the group and set up a schedule of watches. And you have it in your field notebook and feel a little bit confident and more relaxed that this now exists in your possession. In doing so, let's see here. Let's do this, and we'll get rid of that. And we will do this, and one of these, and a couple of those. There we go. Keeping that same thing as you all settle in for the evening and move forward, who is on first watch?
I'll take first.
I didn't
Unless-
state
Didn't state?
what I was doing.
Oh, I
Bucky
apologize.
for sure.
I thought you had set up already. Belthil, what are you getting set up for? I apologize.
So I just want to set up on the opposite side of the cart from JJ,
Mhm.
and I'll just throw a little sheet down and sit in a meditation, and I'll take care of my long rest meditation, and then I'll just be on watch no matter who else is watching after that.
Okay, so you'll do the, what is it, 4 hours? I
Yeah.
think it is for elves. So yeah, you'll be out the first, what's that, the first 2 watches, and then you'll be there for the second 2 watches. Because you have an 8-hour rest, so. Alright, easily enough. So Velithul is sleeping for the first, or meditating for the first one. So the first one we said was JJ and who else?
Bucky.
Bucky. Okay. So JJ and Bucky, as the rest of the group beds down, relaxes, or otherwise occupies their time through the beginning of the evening, you begin to see as dusk sets down and night begins to welcome itself into the world around you and very much the kind of collection of the area. You both go ahead and roll me a perception check.
16.
16. Okay.
9.
9. Awesome. So Bucky, you hear up ahead the rattling and kind of telltale signs of wood graining against earth, heading from the north of your current position. And you can see just on the edge of your vision a pair of lanterns that seem to be lighting what you would assume to be a cart or a wagon of some sort. They seem to gently waft and move as they approach your position. What do you want to do?
I'll signal to JJ that there's somebody coming.
Okay.
And I'll also cast False Life on myself.
All right. So you
Well,
recast False Life, JJ?
I just watch out for them. Not sure if they're friend or foe yet. I think we'll be all right for a few minutes at least.
Okay. So you guys keep an open eye on them. You can hear the soft rattling get a little bit louder as they approach. Quickly, a few hundred feet turns into tens of feet as they see you more or less begin to pass by. You note a covered carriage pulled by 2 large steeds, both of a brilliant white with heavy finery that anoints the various straps and care of these workhorses. You do see standing and walking alongside the horses a single individual who looks like that. This individual stands rather tall, has pointed ears denoting an elven heritage, and hair very much cut in a less than traditional style. As he looks forward, you can hear the clank of his armor softly kind of crest against the plates, and looks to you all and kind of gives a bit of a nod. As you all are kind of looking over, do you guys want to make any actions or any acknowledgement of this individual?
Bucky will just wave.
Yeah, wave and a nod. Does Are there any sort of sigils of any other chosen?
So as you look him over, you actually do note um, the house sigil is actually stamped on the front of his plated armor. He seems to be of House Justin Morath, who is a somewhat well-known individual, especially in Direwood. He is a member of the ruling house and an owner of his own collection of Weaver's Chosen as well. The Lord Morath is currently known in the area for having a number of investments that work very far to the south. A number of his chosen are often, or at least rumored to be, deployed on long voyages overseas. And it is very rare to find more than one or two of his guards or his chosen working as a personal guard. It's kind of an individual that prioritizes quality over quantity, or so he boasts. And many of his Weaver's Chosen are often, while reserved, allow the Lord himself to speak of their heraldry and their accomplishments.
Awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, you all give a soft wave and a nod. In doing so, you see this individual kind of turn, look, not so much size you up, but definitely do a bit of, I guess sizing up is correct. More or less just making sure that you're not just random murder hobos or people on the side of the road waiting for the fanciest carriage to come through. As you both kind of look them over, let's see here. Bucky, you had a 16. You do note one pressing thing is that the kind of track or otherwise wear of the horses that are pulling this kind of covered and enclosed carriage seem to have their hooves caked in heavy set mud up to just past almost the mid calf of the hooves, or sorry, of the legs of the horse. You're trained in nature, aren't you, Bucky?
Actually, a little bit. I spend a lot of time out in nature.
You spend that time in nature. You look at it, especially being a satyr and being where you're from. You can tell that these are signs that the horses were running, and not so much like a trot, but a full, like, breakneck speed. For the mud splatter to be where they're at on these horses, especially as brilliantly white as they are, would imply that these horses have been rode hard and fast.
Wonder what they're carrying.
Who knows? As you guys stand there and kind of look over, the carriage passes and moves, begins its journey further along. You do note as well the elven individual that passes by, guarding the carriage, seems to move at a brisk pace that would almost belay a sense of speed that shouldn't be apparent to him. If that makes quite a lot of sense. He moves as fast as these horses are able to move at like a clip, and he's wearing very heavy looking armor and still manages to keep up with this pace. But past that, that is the end of your watch. Who is on second watch?
I'll be on second watch.
On
I'll
second
take
watch?
second as well.
Okay, so Moore and Orville. You both awaken for second watch. You keep out and kind of keep a look across. Do both of you have dark vision?
I do.
I do, yeah.
Okay. You're able to keep watch rather effectively at night, as now the sun has fully dipped over the horizon. Ooh, hello. So as it dips over the horizon, you guys find yourself in the very beginnings of darkness into the evening and night. I need both of you to roll me a perception check.
I can't read. Give me a second. 25.
25. Oh, good lord. Orville.
17 here.
I have a
17.
plus 6.
Good lord. Okay. Rogues do it. You all managed to canvass the area, keeping a very present and almost hyper-aware lookout of the campsite. You can hear, especially Morgan, you can very much hear the echoing snoring, somewhat muffled by the tent of Mr. Lamont. Within his tent, he is quite very much asleep at this point. You can hear the soft kind of chirping of the various insects in the area, and overall it seems rather calm for the most part. You keep a watch out, and in doing so, you do note that the kind of lights that are still emanating from Direwood itself begin to dim and slowly begin to snuff out like blinking fireflies in the distance. You can still see it some many miles away at this point, and the very bright city of your current residence begins to enter into a state of slumber, from what you can tell. Is there anything you guys want to do while on watch?
Can I maybe take a look at the cart without disturbing anything? Like, just kind of
Sure.
do a once-over glance?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception check for it. Rather than investigation, is not like digging through stuff. You're kind of just like giving it the old eyeball.
Yeah, 25 again.
Good lord. Okay. So you kind of stand up from your scouting position, from keeping watch. You walk the length of the wagon itself. You look over the various barrels, crates, and ropes that make this up. It all looks very neat and tidy. With a 25, you do note a number of like maker's marks on the barrels. They're all very similar, and they do seem to represent a trading post that seems to not so much, not so much belong or otherwise seem out of sorts, but it definitely is one that is not common for Direwood or Grim Village, to your knowledge, with your background especially. You look over the maker's marks, and they're marks that are also surrounded within a squared seal. To you, you know this to be marks of military. Often trading companies that have a squared mark that denote around their iconography, God, that was a hard word to get out, are typically those that are from or otherwise have been stamped and pressed from one of the various forts or watch houses along the area.
Okay, cool.
All right. Orville, anything you want to do before we move on from the next watch?
Yeah, you said Mr. Lamont was snoring quite loudly.
No. But Morgan has bat hearing and can hear through walls and stuff.
All right.
If you ask her, then she'll tell you, I'm sure. But
hey Morgan, how asleep do you reckon Lamont is? I want to see how responsive he is to that bell.
He seems quite out. Like,
All right.
full
Can
out.
I scrounge up a little pebble and try and like throw it at the bell
yeah, that's
a
fine.
few feet away?
So you scoop up a small bit of stone, you toss it at the small bell. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. Let's see how accurate you are with a stone.
Oh, that's an 8.
It's an 8. You send the stone flying in the open air, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna hit that bell, and you see the stone slip through the split of the tent itself. You hear it kind of land within the tent, and you hear, oh god, and you hear an unsheathing of a blade, and you see a mostly not naked but definitely boxer's man step out, his chest clad in about a solid 2 inches of hair, his head covered in what almost looks like a small shower cap, and he comes out and he has a short sword in his hand, and he goes, and he looks over and he sees the two of you very much awake. He looks around and he goes, I was just making sure to keep you on your toes. It's a bug, and good night. He turns around and enters back into his tent, and you see that as he fixes the two kind of doors, the flaps that make up the entrance to his tent, you see his hands kind of work a little bit higher on the tie that holds them together, and he kind of just like shuts it a little bit more, and you can hear like the kind of like the shunk of his weapon going back into its holster, and you hear a soft rumbling. Within about half an hour or so, Morgan, you can pick up on the snoring immediately again.
Oops.
Right. So that'll end second watch. So who is on third watch tonight? So Velthil has completed her long rest, and Colt. All right. So it'd probably be simpler just to split up into 3 if you guys are going to split it that way, but it's fine. That way everyone gets a turn. So into third watch, it is late into the evening. Colt and Velthil, I think your races have dark vision, right?
Yep.
Beep boop. Yeah. No one's a simple person here. Everyone's some kind of weird nonsense monster. So, with that, you guys set to watch late into the evening, beginning to peter into early morning. The pair of you can see the heavy cloud covering beginning to break apart as sunlight is still far from the horizon, but beginning to definitely disperse much of the cloud coverage that is beginning to tilt over and otherwise move and maneuver its way through the open air of the evening. As you guys do so, please make me perception checks if you would be so kind.
Ding.
What'd you get, Colt?
Oh, it's gonna take me a minute. I
Oh, that's
remember how to roll dice.
That's my first roll.
Is it a 1?
It's a natural 1 for a total
Yeah.
of 4.
Yeah! That's a good one.
Thanks, Avery. I'll switch to my real dice soon if this is how it's gonna be, girl.
If you want.
Hey, she gave me a 2.
Yeah. You got plenty of room. Roll dice on your own desk, no big deal.
I got a 7.
A 7? Okay. So yeah, the pair of you set and get ready to prepare watch and otherwise keep a lookout. There seems to be a bit of unspoken nervousness and tension between the pair of you, and for whatever reason, you guys are more preoccupied with making sure the other person is doing their job than actually keeping watch. It's pretty much like having your 2 like shift managers do the same job. And it's like, oh man, I can't wait to write you up for doing bad stuff. And then the other person's like, man, I'm gonna write you up so hard. And yeah, that's predominantly the thing that happens there. Yeah, but otherwise, nothing is noticed and nothing is missed. Is there anything you guys want to try to do while on your third watch?
What a delightful, quiet night.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm gonna chew some chewing tobacco. I'm
Alright.
definitely doing that.
Pull out your
But
small pouch
for
and
flavor.
lip it. Yeah, for flavor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll just walk a perimeter around I'll make a perimeter around the campsite. Just walk around just to see if I see anything else.
Okay.
Like anything of note or anything out of the ordinary because I'm paranoid.
You set up and more or less kind of wander from the awkward tension between yourself and Velithil. You make way around the kind of collected area of the campsite, and in doing so, while you are kind of keeping an eye out or attempting to, you kind of find like the dirt underneath your fingernails is kind of eating up much of your attention. You start noticing you can feel the heaviness of your armor kind of drag against your skin. There are just a number of small distractions that you're kind of like a security cop at a closed mall. You have your flashlight, you're looking around, getting your hourly wage, but man, breakfast is going to be great in the morning. That's going to be tremendous. And that's more or less like, you don't really seem to notice anything out of the ordinary. You're kind of just a little self-absorbed this evening, so to speak. All right.
I am refreshing my knowledge of the constellations. I'm literally just looking at the stars the entire night. That's what my natural 1 is.
Okay. there's a moment of Colt being like, oh man, I got to make sure I'm doing patrols and making sure Velithil doesn't say nothing like I didn't do my share. And meanwhile, you're just like stare at Colt. Second he gets up, straight into the sky. It's like, oh wow, you can really see them this morning. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, simple as simple does. You all complete we'll call it three rests since everyone was participating in it. Stretch out here, I don't think. Yeah, no, we're good there as far as scheduling is. So you guys complete a long rest. You begin packing up your campsite early in the morning. You see Mr. Lamont exit his tent, cleaned up, hair perfectly coiffed, his armor and belongings seemingly not a smidge out of place. And he begins to kind of tear down his tent, wrap things up, and begin to load everything back on the wagon. He sets about feeding the horse and more or less prepping it for the journey ahead. And you guys are able to indulge in your rations that you might have brought along or come in your starting equipment, or whatever you might consider to be an ample and delicious breakfast. Before long, the morning kind of moves into full swing. The horse is rehitched, and you all begin a journey further north for the second day of your travel. Are you guys keeping the same kind of pathing as before? So JJ at the front right wheel, Vel directly behind, Orville in the Orville position, Colt in the front, Bucky back alongside Vel, and let's see, Morgan in the middle front of the wagon. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Sounds
Good to go.
good.
Yep.
All right. So you guys begin your journey further north. You come far away from the actual river's bend as it kind of shrinks away and out of sight. This continues on for several miles, and you begin to more closely get a feel for the open expanse of the Hunter's Reach. You can see various small game quite far from the road ahead, and they predominantly seem to keep their distance. As this land is frequently hunted, it is not uncommon for much of the local wildlife to stay away or mark their distance. In doing so, again, this kind of open area and road seems to be just that, a natural creation by the heavy and dense travel of the area to keep its space from natural life itself. So to this, there we go. So Colt, from up ahead, you can hear the kind of grinding of various wheels and heavy set accompaniment. Up ahead, some few miles just inside of your vision, you come into view of what looks like a caravan wagon and a number of pair of smaller donkey-pulled carts that seem to be heading from further up north, and they are heading towards your position. Anything you want to do?
I'll just signal to the group that there's people coming. I'll let them know. I'll kind of yell it out, like, there's people approaching.
Okay.
Carts approaching.
So yeah, you guys all come into view of this. You can see the various carts and kind of caravan that begins to head in your direction. As you point this out, Mr. Lamont looks forward and goes, "Oh, good. Usually this is a sign that the road ahead is clear, so we will have no issues today. Another sleepy day. Good. I appreciate that."
JJ
problem.
knocks on the wood side of the cart.
Knocks on the wood side of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's all safe. So yeah, anything you guys want to do before coming into view of these individuals?
False life.
False life. Panic, false life.
I would have, at the start of travel, had cast mage armor.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, you very easily enough, you all prep for what could be ahead. In doing so, you do see a number of less armed or armored individuals, a collection of what appear to be merchants of various degrees and scopes, seemingly to band together to have a bit more safety in numbers and scare off more would-be interested parties, whether it be wildlife or otherwise. As they begin to pass you like a ship in the night, you do note that they are primarily of human orientation, and much of their garb is very light and set for heavy travel. Anything you guys want to do?
Do I see any sigils or representations of who they work for?
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Let's see what happens this time.
This time.
15.
15. Okay. Looking over the area, predominantly there's not much to what they're wearing or otherwise carrying. You do note in one of the small carts the marking that you've seen in Direwood before of Deacon. Grant Deacon is a individual who is a blacksmith from Grim Village. He is quite a kind of notable individual for doing bulk orders for various noble houses, whether it be 10 short swords, long swords, armor, what have you. Deacon's fairly well known for taking much of the teachings from the far north, and by that token as well, the kind of manufacture of arms and armor and basic materials to be kind of his calling in life. The following and otherwise creation of these objects are what he's renowned for, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay. But there are various other marks, but they're of what you'd assume to be sundry goods or less interesting things, so to speak.
But these seem to just be merchants and kind of waymen, not any weavers chosen or anything like that.
Yeah, no. Whereas you've seen previously individuals like yourselves who are clad in various armor, weapons, things that sort, belted to your hip, ready for anything, these people seem much more lax. You do see along the carriage, or not the carriage, the kind of caravan, the covered wagon itself, a sheathed sword and a crossbow that sit up on the bench, but it mostly just seems for personal protection, and it's not so close to the driver that you would assume they would be ready at a moment's notice to react. It's more, look, this is here, don't make me use it, kind of mentality.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Could I approach these folks as they're coming on by and ask them about any fell off the wagon specials they might have?
Sure. So you kind of hail and you go, hey friends, a moment of your time, if I might. You see the main kind of covered wagon look to you, see the make and model of your being, and does not slow his horse. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
That's 13.
13. Yeah. So you see the main individual kind of go, oh, I've no time for goblin nonsense this morning. I have a deadline to meet. And you see a number of them kind of like take that as incentive to not stop. One of the small carts in the back seem to be pulled by a single individual, a person who is not an owner or otherwise in possession of a horse or anything that really is able to assist them. They're legitimately pulling this cart by themselves, and they kind of turn and look to you and dust their hands off. They're covered in dirt from the road, wearing just a simple kind of cloth shirt and woven pants, and kind of looks forward and leans this hand trucked cart down. He goes, oh, well, I'd welcome the break. My calluses are burning already. How can I help you, Mr. Good Goblin?
What you smelling, sir?
Smelling this morning juniper berries. That's my breakfast, and I've got a bit of acid reflux.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate.
I wouldn't say
what
so.
do you got in the cart there? If you don't mind me asking.
A transport, primarily linen, sir. I'm hoping that there is a need to redo the sheets at the Granston mansions.
I wish you luck in that. Is there anything that might have befallen the road along the way that might not be fit for such an estate?
He kind of like thinks it over, and you can see that this is almost over his head. As you're asking, like, "Hey, hey, buddy," and this you kind of get the sense that this individual is very much like straight up. They are who they are. And thinks it over and goes, well, like, I think I understand what you mean. I have this pillowcase that you might be interested in. And he walks over to his like hand truck and uncovers through this like heavy leather kind of bound cloth this like bright porcelain white pillowcase. He goes, you'll find no better case, and being of your size, this could definitely be useful as a backpack or a pouch. Perhaps you could keep your and he seems to like search for how to better sell this while not being a salesman. He goes, fish heads in it, or whatever goblin men keep in a sack. He like kind of just gestures it to you.
Let's say I'm interested. How much are you asking for it?
Well, and he kind of looks to the left and looks to the right. Normally, such a fine pillowcase would run you a silver coin, but for you today, sir, 5 copper pieces. I could part with this, and we could write it off as an expense.
Yeah, I'll buy it for 5 copper pieces.
All right, he kind of like rolls it up nice and neat and exchanges it, and you hand him the coins. He looks over the coins and like grasps them very firmly, like it's life or death that he just made this much money. And he goes and like you see him tuck 2 coins in his pocket. He slips another coin into his left boot, another coin into his right boot, and then he takes the last one and puts it into one of the pouches that sits in his hand cart. He goes, thank you so much for your patronage, good Sir Goblin. May that serve you very well.
And thank you too, sir. I'll keep plenty of fish heads in it. We'll keep it nice and secure.
I'm glad to know that is correct. But thank you, sir. And he goes and like hefts his cart back up and begins trucking along. And trying. You see him immediately like take a deep breath and just try and like rush to catch back up with the folks that are more able than he for the rest of it.
And I'll sprint on back and resume my position as well.
All right. So, you all continue from up ahead. Orville rejoins you, tightly woven pillowcase in hand. You see the goblin catch up before too long, and continue along the road. In doing so, you all travel for another collection of miles north through the Hunter's Reach. And you come back into view of the kind of crashing sides of the river, the twisting and turning northern river itself. You see, in doing so, let me pull this up here. This is like the ultimate test for me, is like how quickly can I preload images on a single like sheet. Like that's the trick. Colt, as you are leading the group, you see a single kind of head pop up from the rocks, and you can see these kind of like faded green skin and tattered robes standing along atop a large boulder. You see this individual. There we go. Can you see it? There we go. Kind of looming out and staring directly into the sun. Their eyes and irises are a blank pale white, and you can see, you almost swear you see a bit of smoke coming from their hollowed and gloomed eyes. But they are standing out, arm outstretched, staring directly into the sun. And you see them up ahead. What do you want to do?
I'll signal to gosh, what is his name? Dang it, I forgot his name. I'll signal to the gentleman who's leading
Lamont?
our mission. Lamont, yes. Yep. That hey, we got some people ahead looking at the sun. I don't know if that's something to be concerned about.
Lamont kind of like pulls the horse a bit and looks at you and goes, Well, is that is that a thing? Is that evil? Staring at the sun?
I mean, I don't think it's evil. It seems awful dumb. But
Okay.
I mean, there's a little bit of smoke coming from her eyes. She's definitely blind. But I mean, I think at
So
least.
so there's a blind, beaten creature up ahead, and that could pose us a serious threat. All right.
No.
Consideration. I'm thinking. Hold on a second. He turns and looks and goes, you there, satyr. I don't believe I formally got your name. Weaver's chosen. Please, if you might lend me one of your horned ears.
Of course. What can I do for you?
I have word from your commander, Mr. the Hobgoblin, that there is a dangerous, wanted blind woman staring aimlessly in the sun who could potentially bring us unrest and death. I need you to slay her.
Sir,
I mean-
sir, before we do something like that, could I just ask her to move?
He turns and looks at Colt, and looks up and he goes, could you just ask her to move, or is this more serious than that? I thought...
I don't think she poses any threat. I was just pointing out that I'm gonna go talk to her to see if she needs help. Cause
One
I
second,
mean,
Mr. Honeycutt. 1 second.
Oh. I apologize.
JJ is gonna cast message.
Okay.
Ask this kind creature to please move off the road area.
Well,
Don't
they're not
want to run her over.
They're not so much on the road area,
Okay.
so much as they're on like a large stone that's just off to the side of the road, and they're standing on the top of this stone, hand kind of like outstretched and like fingers split, and they are kind of looking almost like not divinely, but definitely like lost in their own head. It seems like
How many are there?
just one.
Just one.
Just
Can I
one
do
blind
an
old lady.
Arcana check to kind of get a grasp if they're doing anything magic related?
Sure, yeah. And then JJ, let me know what you want to do for your message afterwards.
Casting sunlight on her eyes. That's what she's doing.
Just sitting there baking radiant damage in the sun.
22.
22, okay. You look out to it, and you can, as you kind of like narrow your vision on this bright kind of, because again we're at like midday, so the sun is bearing down on this creature, and the stone itself is polished rock, not polished, but definitely it's been out in the sun, it's been baked. So there's definitely reflective heat on this creature. As you kind of narrow your view and you look out onto this warm landscape, it's got to be, if there is any magical sense at all of what this creature is doing, it is some kind of weird ritualist thing. There's no magic that you've seen that involves burning your retina and holding your hand out before you.
But I can tell that it's a goblinoid creature, right?
Yeah, from this distance, yeah, definitely. You can see it's short enough. It's about Orville's height.
Okay. Might I suggest Colt or Orville be the one to approach her? Just see if we can help this individual. They look like they're in some pain.
But, that's probably a good idea. Orville, is that your mother?
Wow.
Shoot, could be. I don't rightly know. Orville would like to attempt to call out to this being
Okay.
in Goblin.
Okay. So you move up closer, you shout to them in Goblin. What do you say?
What you doing?
Walk forward. What you doing? As you do so, you can hear very clearly this like almost raspy, broken voice. And I don't have this beautiful blue Yeti yet to do ASMR, so I'm going to be a little bit louder than a whisper. But next week, all the whispers and creepy shit, I swear. So you hear very clearly, Orville. You can see this kind of pointed hand become outstretched and just slowly tilt in your direction, and you hear, "There is a presence A sign upon a pale moon. That which you hide from my eyes, I have found. Walk forward and surrender. No one else in the
You-
party hears that.
I call back out to her. You want me to surrender?
Surrender yourself unto me, and yet you might be saved, wretch.
Right.
And we can't hear her communicating.
I'm gonna turn back to
You
the.
hear Orville's responses, but you're not
Okay.
hearing this voice he's hearing, even though he hears it as if she's standing right next to him.
I'm gonna turn back to the group and call out, and she says to surrender. Yeah.
She didn't say anything.
Yeah, she didn't say anything. Orville.
Well, I heard it. I'm gonna call back out to her. Ma'am, we don't want no trouble. Can we just get by?
As you say this, you again hear that you see the hand slowly move towards you, and you hear again, as clear as someone standing right next to you, you hear, "You can get by. Simply leave what is brought, and there will be no trouble for you, youngling. Leave, and cause no harm to the natural order."
I'll relay that to the group. It sounds like she says to leave what we brought, but that's not in the job descriptions. We can't do that. She said something about a natural order, so I figure as long as we don't bump her rock and whatnot, we should be all right to get by her.
Can we ask? I don't know his name. I'm the worst.
Lamont?
Lamont.
Mhm.
If there's anything in there that we should be concerned about that would cause this creature to want it
In there? What do you mean in there?
in the wagon. Obviously, it's something we brought.
No. Just some salted meats, some butter. I might have snuck on a bit of honey milk, but that's not for sale. That's for personal use. No, there shouldn't be anything in there that a blind old goblin woman would want.
Bucky's gonna be like, "Come on, I think you know what's in there. Just tell us."
He goes, I assure you, I know what's in there as well, and it is some salted meats, some butter, and some very simple necessities. I was hoping to make a tidy profit in Grim Village. They are oft in need of various amenities, and such finery is uncommon to the village. It's mostly hunting game at this point.
Listen, if we walk by her and she does some kind of magic stuff to us, I might punch you right in the face. If you're being dishonest to us, I don't appreciate that.
I give you my word as a tradesman, Mr. I didn't get your full name. What is your name? I feel so impartial.
My name's Colt Honeycutt.
Colt Honeycutt. Well, Mr. the Honeycutt, I can assure you on my honor there is nothing that would endanger our journey within this cart.
Well, it's endangering our journey now, wouldn't you say?
If I have hired at my own expense the weaver's chosen of the Lady Galante, and you all can't handle one decrepit old blind woman, I don't know what I paid for.
Have we put a thought into that she's just old and kind of sunburnt and maybe sun poisoned, and then maybe we should just sit on the far side of the road and try and go past her?
She has some sort of arcane ability. She's speaking and only Orville can hear her.
That's
Is that
fair.
is that just like that's a goblin thing? Yes, they're all
No, that is not a goblin thing, Mr.
linked up.
Lamont. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was raised in a proper academy. There were a number of discrepancies in the real world.
Mr. Lamont, sir, why was it that you specified that there was nothing in the cart that we had to worry about? Is there something outside the cart that you're carrying with you that we got to worry about?
He goes,
Like, are you something we got to worry about? People after you?
I should hope that no blind old goblin women are after me. I assure you, my business is primarily that of marketing and traveling to deliver these goods to Grim Village. I, at this time, have told you there is nothing that we carry in this cart that is intended for sale that is going to harrow our journey any bit. Whatever this blind old woman has got you all on edge. Truly, Mr. the Satyr, please just remove the blind woman from the market and from this rock, and let us be on our day. We have another day's journey ahead of us, and I'd prefer not to tarry any longer, wondering about the whims of a homeless woman.
How about this? How about we just keep going, and if she attacks us, we'll take care of it.
But that would be self-defense. Yes, I think that is a marvelous idea. You just need to stand your ground and kill her. If she attacks
If it comes to that. If it comes to that.
Right.
All right, sounds good to me, I
Yep,
suppose.
I will be
well.
the closest buffer to between the Goblin Lady and the rest of the party.
Okay.
I'll also be a buffer on that side of the cart too.
Okay, so you're going to be a buffer on that side of the card as well. Let's do this. Throw a buffer. There's that. There's that. Move that here. All right, so as you all are moving along, you begin to hear kind of the grating, groaning of the cart against the kind of soft makes of the let's make sure here of the worn road near the kind of riverside area. You can hear the rushing water as you advance some more, and you come into closer view of this large, heavy stone that this woman sits upon. In doing so, you all reach a point where you stand directly before this heavy stone. Orville and JJ, you both stand opposed between interfixed from the cart and this individual. And as you all begin to cross almost the median line, and you can hear it, you do note the kind of a booming voice echo through in a loud kind of vapid resonation. Wow, rhythm stopped right at the right time. You hear, "Stop! You will go no further while you carry this taintedness within you." And you see this kind of like twisted looking goblin woman from the stone tilt her head down. You can hear snapping, a breaking of cartilage as she stares upon you all. And you see a crooked, bent green finger kind of loom down and point in your direction. You go, "Surrender the corruption to its rightful collectors, or you will be buried along the riverbank, as was many before you." You note this
What
woman's...
corruption?
You know this woman's mouth does not open for these words. You stand back, "What corruption?" And you hear, "You know what you have. You know what you have brought to this place. You know. You begin hearing echoing voices. You know. I need everyone to roll initiative.
This is the problem.
Always with the voices in your head, always being problems.
Right? Give me 1 second here, and I'm going to take a quick run to the restroom real quick before we get started with this.
Can we do like a break thingy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
let's do
do
that.
Take like 5-10 minutes.
There's a dog
Yeah.
that needs to go downstairs.
That makes sense then. Yeah, so we'll take a break here for everyone watching. We'll be back in, we'll say 10 minutes, so that'll be 9 o'clock when we get back here, and we'll go from there. And in the meantime, I think rhythm I can bump up. There's that. And then let's switch it over to this one. Nope, this one. There we go.
Sounds good. I'll be right back.
Handsome boy. Time to kill an old blind woman.
Hell yeah.
She's already dead. Something puppet in her.
I think our Mr. Lamont is just really sketchy.
Oh yeah, he
Oh,
has something
absolutely.
on his person. He worded everything perfectly. But
Mhm.
whatever.
We all know. We're all on the same page.
There's nothing on the cart that's
Ooh.
for sale. Like, yeah, okay, sure.
I
Gotcha.
gotta turn this down. Woo! I didn't realize the music died. Whoops, that's my bad. Well, that's fair
You
then.
ruined everything.
I ruined everything. I tell you, it was a whole task. And now we're sitting here and people like have it open and they're like, "Oh God, the Be Right Back screen's talking to us. This is so unprofessional." But I can't do 2 channels yet. That's the problem. My channels are like chat and like game audio, and so that's just
Oh,
what we're doing.
so if we talk to each other, it comes through. I'll be right back. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fine.
That's
Sus.
Yeah, I brought my crew in. Those are
Oh
my
geez.
peeps right in there.
Oh God.
My players were gonna watch.
Bam.
They want to see me make a fool of myself.
That's fair. Yeah, it was like a whole thing to find non-copyright music to use, like free use music.
Okay, initiative.
Sounds really good.
Yay.
Yeah, the musical accompaniment has been great. I've really enjoyed that.
Yay. Is everyone back? I think so.
I'm back.
All right, you're back. Boom. Hey, nothing broke. That's awesome.
Huzzah!
Oh, you know what I broke? I broke the slushie that I was going to bring with me. Hold on. Woohoo! There it is. All right. So, we are back. And let's see if I mess this up or not. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. This thing. Bam, we did it, Reddit. Look at that. Look how clean that
Nice.
looks. There we go, that'll work. Trying to see like how it lines up with the stream. All right, so with that, you guys, we're back. Hi everyone. Hi, welcome back. I have nothing to promote, and I have no sponsors, and this stream is brought to you by me, Kareem Zamir, the guy who works for a living. Anyway, so as we
But
come back,
sponsors, if you're out there,
sponsors.
certainly could be sponsored.
I am ready to sell out every part of this stream. You want a banner that says vote for whoever? I got you. This hat, you tell me what message you want to put on the brim? I got you. You know, I'm ready to sell out. And actually, I'm not, because that's really weird. Anyway, so you guys hear the loud crescendoing voice kind of call out and kind of stutter out from you guys. You hear very much the not so whispering sounds of voices echoing throughout the area. I need everyone here to please roll initiative. That's initiative for people at home.
Bucky got a 16.
Bucky got a 16, he says.
I
have
got
to
a
remember-
9.
Okay. Moore got a 9.
JJ got an 18.
JJ got an 18.
Bellathil
Orville.
got a 20.
Ooh, that's a fast wizard. Orville?
23.
Oh my god. 23. And Colt,
Wait, what?
what'd you get?
How did I get a... Okay, so...
You broke
got-
everything.
What'd
what?
you break?
How does that even work?
That's not a roll. You named the roll that.
Oh.
You didn't put a space somewhere.
Again, if you guys want, you can use your real life dice. Not a big deal.
7.
7. Colt gets a 7. Alright. And then we'll see here. Oh, so it rolls, but then it goes beyond where the screen shows. I might have to figure that out. That'll be a fun project to do this week. I'm sure I can probably talk to my tech guy and figure that out. I have a wizard on Fridays who does all kinds of stuff, so he's probably way smarter than me for rollers. All right, so these creatures will go when these creatures go. All right, so at the top of the initiative, we have Orville. You see this creature from the top of the rock kind of point out in your direction. You hear this loud, booming voice and a chittering echo of various other voices kind of permeate the area. What do you want to do? You are... I think I might have to zoom in. Hold on. Might be easier. Can you see that okay? I don't know how the quality is.
Yeah, no, that looks good. Good enough for me.
Okay.
Am I able to scramble up this rock?
You can certainly try.
Alrighty. I would like to attempt to climb up this rock and get in the face of this old bag.
All right, give me an athletics or acrobatics check to hurl yourself up the rock without busting your butt.
Could I just step of the wind it?
You could dash it, you mean? Or step of the wind ignores difficult terrain, right?
Step of the wind, like doubles jump height, I think.
Okay, then yeah. Whoop!
I believe that's a bonus action.
And we'll throw you there. That way you're not on the edge. So you jump on the diagonal. You land gracefully using your bonus action, and you stand at this creature. It's still pointing its kind of crooked green finger forward at your group. What do you want to do?
I was raised that it wasn't rude, or that it was rude to point. And I'd like to try and slap her hand down.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll. Are you trying to attack her or just slap her hand?
Just slap her hand.
Okay, sure enough. So go ahead and roll me a athletics check, and I'll roll one opposed.
That's an 8.
An 8, okay. You reach out and you kind of open palm, try to slap the top of her hand, and you see this like twitching nervousness of her. You go for it, and she kind of tilts ever so slightly, and your hand goes wide. You don't manage to hold her hand, unfortunately.
Oh.
I know. Sad face. Is that your turn?
That's it. Yep.
Vel, it is your turn.
I would like to look around to see if I notice anything else that might be controlling or manipulating her, since we're hearing voices everywhere.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
$12.
12, okay. You look around the area, and from your position at the back of the cart, you don't see anything otherworldly or magical that seems to have dominion over this creature. From what you can tell, it seems to be acting alone and in its own accordance.
Okay. I will simply inform Mr. Lamont to just keep moving. We'll handle this. Get your belongings past this creature.
Yes, of course, I will do so. Please, do whatever you do. Be chosen.
And I'm assuming that perception was my action, so
Yep.
I'll just stay where I am and see what happens.
All right, JJ, what do you want to do?
She's gonna point up at this little goblin lady, and she said, "Well, that's not nice, and you know, I'm not quite sure what you're asking for, but you're kind of old, wrinkly, and here we go." And she's gonna catch vicious mockery.
Wow, we're just calling the lady old and wrinkly. Okay.
And
Stop talking about me.
wisdom save from her.
Wisdom save? Okay. Let's see here. I don't think she has anything. Nope. Yeah, so I'm assuming a 4 doesn't make it.
No.
Okay.
All right. Let me roll damage. Oh, that would be 3 psychic damage, and she has disadvantage on the next attack.
Okay. So you fire off this scathing insult. You can see that there doesn't seem to be a reaction from her. As far as for damage being concerned, it seems more or less that she's shaken, but the damage itself doesn't seem to fit enough to elicit a reaction from like a groan of pain or a wince or anything. It kind of just like shakes across her body. Is that your go?
Yep, that's it.
All right, Bucky, your go. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna cast my Hex on
Okay.
her.
All right.
And throw an Eldritch Blast.
All right, go for it. Roll to hit.
Does a 12 hit?
You fire off this Eldritch Blast. This kind of crackling mass of green, kind of chaotic energy erupts from your fingertips, and you see this blast pass over her head. You overshot it just ever so slightly. Clearly, you're not used to shooting at Orville.
And my Hex was going to be on the Strength, sorry.
Okay, so strength is at disadvantage.
Yes.
Got it here. I'll note it in my notes. So that's your bonus action, your action. Is that your go?
That's me.
Okay. So strength is hexed. All right. So you see this goblinoid creature, this kind of like, and Orville, as you're closer now, you turn and look, and you can see this kind of gaunt, faded hand. The skin, this once green, vibrant flesh like your own, is now pale and lacking any luster. You can see these very much blackened and bleached white eyes seem to sit very heavy in these deep-sunk sockets. The creature turns and looks to you, and you can see these twisting, empty irises kind of try to find you in the darkness. For a moment, you swear you can see things beginning to cover across her eyes. In doing so, you see the white eyes kind of spin in their sockets for a moment, and she points in your face. I need you to make me a intelligence saving throw.
Oh, Christ.
The dreaded.
Did we kill Everett?
It's just exclamation point R, and then you can do space plus 1.
Yeah, the full
Oh.
roll should have worked
Oh
though.
boy. Oh, that's in that one for a total of 2.
Okay. So the creature points at you. You can hear in your mind's eye a hissing chitter of a whisper enter in for your very skull, and you can feel something burn and singe the inner workings of your brain. In doing so, you take, let me see here. Yeah, you take 11 points of psychic damage.
Alrighty.
And your mind is opened up to the horror beyond the veil of reality. You begin to see a number of bleak creatures kind of whisper and hiss as your vision fades into darkness. You become blind,
Alright.
and you take 1 point of sanity for rolling a natural 1 against an intelligence saving throw.
Alright, sounds good.
As you begin to hear gross whispers within your head. In doing this, you see this kind of just point to the rest of you. You just see this woman point her finger, and that's it. However, you then see almost a sensation of realization come across the face and scowl of this woman. You hear, "There is no escape for you here. While you carry chaos within you, we will stop you." And you hear, boop, that, and visibility, visible. And we'll move here, and visible. You see two other pale green creatures move out to the front of the road, each one bearing similar marking of this kind of drained, paled flesh of a goblin, or what pretends to be a goblin in this sense. They both come out from the bush. Colt, you see each of them kind of move their fingers a bit more dexterously than the woman on the rock, and each one seems to brandish some type of held bit of shadow in their fingers, almost like a small beam of darkness betwixt their small goblinoid fingers. The first one will throw this beam of darkness at you, Colt. Does a 17 hit?
No.
No? Okay. You managed to deflect it off with your shield. Following through with that, the second one will throw a blade of darkness at Moore. Moore, does a 13 hit you?
No.
No? Okay. So you see both of them hurl these like black masses of darkness in your general direction. In doing so, Colt, you manage to raise your shield in time, and you don't actually feel any impact, but you can hear this kind of like thickening hiss as if a whisper was thrown in your direction. More, you kind of deftly move and dodge out of the way, and you see this black mass itself strike against the stone behind you and fade into the very shadow that's crested on the mid-afternoon rock itself. From behind the party, boop, boop. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 30. And visibility, visible, visibility, visible. There we go. Bucky and Vel, you see two more creatures exit from behind the bush and point in your direction, each one, again, wielding some type of weaponized shadow in their hands. And you hear both of them point in your direction and goes, "While you carry it, you will know no peace." The first one will throw on Bucky. Bucky, does an 8 hit you?
Nope.
Okay. Vel. I'm just gonna do this. Just gonna roll dice. Don't worry about it. What's your AC, Vel?
15.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna roll. I rolled 19. I'm like, I'm just gonna not worry about that. I don't think anyone has high. We are. Whoop. Vel, you get struck in the chest with this blanket, this kind of like bead of shadow. You take 7 points of necrotic damage, as you can feel something otherworldly begin to pull at the warmth of your body. And that is their go. Moore, it is your turn.
Okay. I'd like to aim my short bow at the creature on the left.
Okay.
Directly in front of me.
Yep.
And that is... Oh my god, I dropped it.
It's on the ground now.
I'm assuming a 9 doesn't hit.
You fire off your bow, and you see the arrow strike into the dirt just in front of the creature.
Okay.
All right. Is that your go?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to move or anything of that sort?
Yeah, let me take my bonus action to kind of like dash back a little bit.
Okay. So, do you want to go and like use your move action and then use your bonus to hide?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll put you here between the cart and some overgrown shrub, and go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
It's gonna be more ranged. That is a 20.
Okay. Yep. You vanish from sight, and no one is ever the wiser. There we go. Let's see here. That is Moore's. Colt, your turn. What do you want to do?
I guess I will go ahead and I will run up on those two directly in front of me.
Okay.
The adjacent square to the one on closest to the top. Yeah, like catty corner. Down one. I don't know if that really matters, but yeah.
It's up to you. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you move there. What do you do?
I will go ahead and swing my longsword.
Okay, you draw your longsword from its scabbard, shield brandish already. Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
That is a 26. Oh,
26.
Crit. That's actually a crit.
Oh, then yeah, no, definitely. 26. Also, it's a 20. Also, your mom. Also, go ahead and roll double dice, and then add your modifier.
Okay. You know, I'm just gonna do this on D&D Beyond. That's so much easier.
Yeah, man. Whatever floats your boat. If you want to use your dice, if you want to use D&D Beyond, if you want to use roller.com, I don't care. Boom, 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 boom.
So that's gonna be +4. So 15.
15 points of damage?
Yep.
Alright, you strike out at this creature, and let's see here. Bam. You cleave it in half. You see your sword dip into its shoulder and through the rest of it. Against your sword, where you would normally expect flesh and bone, you feel this almost tearing sensation, this paper mache, as your sword cuts through it, and you can see the slice go completely clean through the entity, and you can see this kind of like wavering, almost bleak-looking shadow erupt from the creature, and it falls apart into nothingness. You look for a moment, and what is your passive perception?
So perception is 13.
13. With your passive perception, you look and you can see the shadow kind of clatter almost to the ground as if holding weight, something very uncommon for a shadow, and you see it retreat northeast from your position, and it seems to retreat into the brush that is adjacent to the riverside, so further northward on the map. You see it kind of like move from there. Is that your turn?
Yeah,
Yeah?
that'll be my turn for now.
Okay. Lamont will follow the last order he was given, look around, and he goes, "Oh, yes, Mr. Honeycutt, continue to destroy these old women, and we will be through this before long." And he will move up 5, 10, and he is holding the reins to the horse, so all this moves up with it. And that'll be his move as he guides his horse forward. Round 2. Orville, what would you like to do? You just watched Colt slice one of these old women into nothing but whispers.
I watched what now?
Oh, sorry. Never mind. You blind as hell. You watch
well,
these really cool shadows and these other shadows with other shadows.
Yeah. I'm gonna put my hands up and take the dodge action.
Okay. So you take a defensive action, and you begin to kind of bob and weave.
And I'm just gonna. I can't see anything, but I'm gonna put my dukes up and bob and weave as best I can against where I knew she was.
Give me your dukes. Go ahead and give me an intelligence saving throw at the end of your turn.
Sounds good. That's another natural one.
Okay. You begin to hear these tendrils of whispers in your ear. You can hear things that more or less just seem like a chorus of various voices that intrude and ingrain themselves within your mind. Very slowly, you can feel a tingling sensation in your eyes. JJ, you're looking up in that direction. You cast a spell on her. You can see Orville is beginning to cry tears of crimson.
Oh.
Okay. And Velithil, it is your turn now.
Okay. I'm going to step forward 2 spaces.
Okay, 2 spaces.
Yeah,
Oh,
up.
that's enough. Boom. Boom.
No, I mean
Oh, up. Up.
northward.
Boom, boom. So next to JJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will cast Toll the Dead on the main blind on the rock one.
Okay. And what does she need? Wisdom?
Yeah.
The mightiest of 11s. Does that make it?
That will fail.
Okay.
Did she actually take damage?
She's taken 2 psychic damage so far.
That's enough for me to roll a d12 if necrotic matters.
That you know, it is what it is.
One necrotic damage.
1. Ha ha ha.
That's
you guys,
for the d12.
you all hear this calorous bell ring out. Boom. Again, much like JJ's spell, it seems to find no purchase of reaction across this creature, but you can see a little bit of blackened spotting appear across the pale, gandered flesh of this creature. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right, JJ, your go. What would you like to do?
First, I would like to move up to be flanking with Orville.
Flanking with Orville. Okay. Are you going to climb up on the rock?
Yes, I'm gonna climb up on the rock.
So I need either an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
We will do acrobatics today.
Boom.
That'd be 24.
Okay. Skip, hop, and a jump leads you to the diagonal of the very blind and now eye-bleeding Orville. He's not exactly the best bet for this, but you are technically in flank. Just without any of the fun bonuses.
Yep. I am going to cast Healing Word for a bonus action.
Okay. On to the old woman?
Nope, on to Orville.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, fine, be that way.
Do I roll that for him?
You do. You are the caster of the spell or deliverer of the item, so you do the dice rolling.
Alright, that's 5 points to Orville.
All right, Orville, you
Got it,
recover
thank
5
you.
points.
And then for my action, I would like to slice her.
Slice her
Slice her, please.
with a weapon, I hope, or just.
Yes, with a rapier.
Oh, okay. I was like, this is a whole deli slicer, and she just. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
So
that's
yeah,
right.
you pull your rapier out and make a stab at her. Go ahead and make an attack roll. At regular, not at advantage, because Orville is too blind to help you right now.
Yep. 26. Oh, that's a crit.
Sure, y'all. We're playing the 26 club today. Go for it.
It's ones or 20s.
It's ones or 20s. That's all we're getting.
I rolled a 2d8 instead, correct?
2d8 plus your modifier, which would be dexterity.
$13, please.
13, please. Okay, yeah. You slice heavily into the side of this creature. You feel your rapier push past what you would assume to be cloth and muscle, but much to what Colt has just recently discovered, there seems to be no bearing on this creature, no physicality, no musculature that you can find purchase in with your rapier. Your sword goes through what should be its rightmost shoulder. And you feel as you kind of tilt your rapier up with a flourish, just a coldness at the edge of your blade. It almost trails down to the hilt. You see this black Icarus shadow rend itself from the open wound, and the creature's right arm vanishes in a cloud of smoke. Much with Colt's discovery, you see these kind of lingering, now severed shadows from the creatures land onto the rock and slowly ink their way northeastern into the kind of overbrush.
In the same direction.
You're not sure, but
Okay.
for our home audience, yes, the same direction, y'all.
I am now done with my
okay.
turn.
That is JJ's turn. Bucky, what would you like to do, Bucky?
Bucky would like to move up behind the cart.
Okay.
Like to the side a little bit.
Left or right?
To the left.
To the left, to the left.
Yeah. And then he's gonna shoot another Eldritch Blast at this one up on the rock.
Up on the rock, go ahead. Poor blind Orville. His no eyes.
He'll get better. Just needs a few more crit fails.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Ooh, 23.
23 will
Oh.
definitely hit. Go ahead and roll damage. You fire off a bolt.
11 damage.
11 damage. All right. You find this crackling eldritch energy deep within you. You can feel a warmth resonate from your chest, whereas before you were almost using the leftover charge, just remnant within your soul. This time you pull from a well of strength deep within yourself, and you focus it into this eldritch blast. You fire off, and your bolt finds purchase. It strikes true directly through the creature, and you see in just a mere flash of green pale light, this creature erupts into just almost a silhouette of shadows, and you see it fall and clatter, these heavy weighted shadows against the bright light of the world, falling on the rock and then slowly inking their way northeastern, deeper into the overbrush. Is there anything else you want to do for your turn?
That's it.
Okay, let's see this. And let's do delete token and delete this token. There we go. That's Bucky. There goes. This one is Cadet, and this one is also Cadet. So not Cadet one will walk forward a step and walk up to your current respondent, and you see them kind of push the finger forward and go to touch Mr. Lamont. Mr. Lamont will make a saving throw. All right. You see Mr. Lamont kind of cry out in agony, and you can see his eyes, they roll back into his skull, and you can see him kind of like howl out in pain, as you can see the kind of once dark, almost auburn irises of Mr. Lamont become pale and white and losing their very much their gander. That is that one's turn. This one here is going to move up 5, 10, 15 to Velithil. And you see it walk forward and kind of like lumber ever so slowly, its feet dragging with what clings to a traveling robe now torn to sunders. It points to you with its crooked finger. Go ahead and give me an intelligence saving throw. I know you're real good at them. But
Well, we'll just see how Aubrey feels about that.
I'm gonna pray for it.
17.
17. You feel, for just a moment, you can feel a voice, a presence, an unseen something push itself to the front of your mind. You can almost feel a burning sensation to your forehead, but your mental fortuity very much pushes back this unseen force. Your years of dedication to the arcane arts able to resist whatever ill force this may have befallen you. The other one, you can see it kind of look over, and you very much see this first one point at you and come to a pale, almost blind realization of what you might be. And it goes, "This one's mind is safeguarded. Other means will need to be taken." You see the other one march forward. It reaches onto its cloak and pulls forth this long, sickly-looking bead of black energy, and it strikes forward at you with a thrust. Does a 18 hit?
I will cast Shield.
Okay. You see this long, pointed, almost rapier-like bead of darkness move forward with a thrust, and you can see as you cast Shield up, it strikes against it, and you can see it almost crush and compact, like a blade of light being pressed against some unseen force. That is their go. Mord, it is your turn. You are currently hidden in the underbrush, bow in hand, and there is a satyr next to you who is currently unaware of your position.
That's fair. I'd like to aim at the nearest one to me.
Mhm.
And can I ask, is there more than 5 feet between the two that are right there?
No. So every square on the grid is adjacent and within 5 feet of each other.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I was just asking.
No worries.
Alright. I'm gonna aim my short bow and roll a 16.
Okay. You fire off. Did you roll at advantage because you technically have stealth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 16. Your arrow strikes true in the chest of the creature. Go ahead and roll your short bow plus your sneak attack.
How did you know I was gonna do that?
Because there's an alley within 5 feet. It's not my first rodeo. It's just my first D&D stream.
I'm going to hit for 14.
14 damage?
Yep.
All right.
No, so, yeah, because I have a +4.
Sure. So you kind of pop up from the bush, you draw your short bow, you angle it back, you give the softest little hey, and you can see the creature slowly turn its face over. You loose an arrow from your short bow, and you can see the arrow thread the needle in through its left eye, out through its right eye, between the bridge of its nose. You see it kind of twist for just a moment, the arrow passing harmlessly into the bush, and you see its head explode into a tendriling mass of shadows before erupting into a small, blinking blot of a mess. It begins to head further northeastern, following the path of many of the other the other shadows. That is your action. Anything else you want to do?
Let's hang out.
Just hang out. Okay. Do the
Chilling.
dance. All right.
Yeah.
That is this one now dead. All right. That is more. Colt, it is your turn. Let's move. Ooh, no, let's not move that. Let's move this. There we go. Buttons. Too many buttons.
I will go ahead and I'll get across from. I'll basically sandwich in the little goblin.
Okay.
Well, is Lamont holding a weapon?
He's holding the reins to the horse, and he's blind as hell.
Okay, so he's non-threatening. Cool.
Yeah, no.
So whatever.
Hey man, this is your job, not his.
I'll take a swing.
Okay, go for it.
What? I crit again?
These people. Maybe I do need to check all your dice. I don't know. No, it's fine.
No, I'm doing it on.
It's Aubrey.
I'm messing with you. So yeah, you draw your longsword, and like a trained military man that you are with a long history of combat, your hand is practiced, poised, true. You slice into the back of this creature. Go ahead and roll damage.
I'm just gonna do it on
Do what makes it happen.
Well, I'm still blind. How else am I gonna remember?
here.
Welcome to his shenanigans.
Bam. All right, let's see if it resets.
You're good.
Good. Back live.
Yes, I see things.
Woohoo.
I also see things.
Right.
I don't
Lies.
see anything.
One of them is lying.
I don't see anything. It's
Let me
blank
see
on
here.
my screen.
Let me
I had to
do
refresh.
this and that.
No, dude, it's definitely there. I can see it.
My thing is on the Discord. It made me white.
It looks like the color of his beanie. I think we're all in there.
Heyo.
Oh yeah, you're not on the Discord now.
Yeah, it's weird. First
Oh.
issue. Let me see here.
Technical issues there for us.
Little goblin behind me.
I'm
Alright,
where
we're
now?
back. We're back good. We're here.
Another
there.
goblin.
There's that.
We got plenty of goblins.
A big
I
goblin.
might have to jump in and out of Discord real quick. Let's do that. All right, I'm gonna end the call. It'll kill cams, and I'll come back in. Boom. There, and then video. No, still gray. What the heck? I might have to kill Discord. That might be the thing. Please hold while this DM completely refreshes. 1 second. Let's kill it the fun way. Boop-a-doo. Be right back, folks. Doo-doo.
I forgot what the equals like.
It's all fun and games till something breaks. Right in the middle of combat.
Of course. Oh.
Let's do this. Let's do that. And then switch to that, and then test it. Preview is black. Let's see here.
Did your screen share, like, set change?
No. So what it was is the virtual webcam that I used. I'm just really stupid, and I didn't turn it back on after I rebooted.
Ah.
That's all. Just me being special, y'all. Don't mind me. It wouldn't be a first stream if everything went well. Anyway, so there we go. I think everyone's back. I think everyone's names are still right. Bam, we got this. Let's do this. We're gonna lose cameras real quick. Play.
Still here.
Oh, it's not paused. Okay. Boop boop. Hold on. Boop boop boop. There it goes. All right, we're back. All right, so should be fully good. We should be fully good again. If not, let me know. All right, so yeah, so you slice the majority of this creature in half. Its kind of ending torso is still in tatters. You dig deep. You can feel the adrenaline pump through your your hobgoblin. Sorry, I almost said half orc. Your hobgoblin veins, and you find this surge of might, this adrenaline within you. Go ahead and make your second swing.
Oh, dang it. I knew I was going to mess it up again.
Bum 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 bum.
See, that's no. There's something wrong. That's not possible.
Are you just rolling
No.
20 instead of rolling
No,
a
it's
d20?
totally-
No, it's one
Average.
d20. It says it right.
Well,
That's fine. I'm just gonna get another crit fail. but
I
we'll
will
take it.
save everyone the time. You very clearly clean it in
Okay,
half.
No,
No worries.
I rolled a 9. That's not cool. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it.
Maybe you're
You
just
didn't
you're
cheat.
blessed
That's what
by
happened
God.
to you. The universe is finally on your side.
Years and years
No,
of being
I
put
don't
down
like
by
it.
the system, and now
I don't like it. I like being betrayed. I like ones.
I like the pain. I like the pain, Dad.
You like ones? Are they entertaining? Is this some sort of cruel cosmic joke?
Cruel cosmic joke. All right, so yeah, you easily enough you slice this poor wretch in half. Let me do this. Delete. You see it fall into shadows and it again begin to move itself northeasternly. Lamont's turn. He goes, Mr. Honeycutt, I am quite blind, sir. I cannot. I shall march forward in faith. And he takes his 2 steps forward, having no idea what's going on. You see as he does so, he kind of marches the cart over a large section of rocks, and you hear the kind of sputtering thud of wood as it crashes into the rocks. He goes, oh, you see the horse rear up slightly, but he manages to hold on to the reins. He will save his intelligence at the end of the turn and fail to do so. And you begin to see him drip tears of crimson down the side of his face. Let's see here. Orville, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Am I still blind?
Yeah.
Well, being on the defense got me not hit, so we're gonna run with that again.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take the dodge action,
Alright.
keep my dukes up, and keep the bob and weave going.
At the end of your turn, make an intelligence saving throw.
All right, I roll. That's a 4.
A 4. Okay. Yeah. Vision does not return to your sight. You
Oh boy.
again are filled in the world of darkness. The clawing and tingling sensation is still fervent on the flesh of your irises, but overall you don't feel any sort of outwardly sensation or pain.
Okay.
That is your go. Vel, what would you like to do? Vel. Oh, she's looking.
I would like to. This guy hasn't taken any damage, but he's standing right next to me, so I'm gonna Toll the Dead on him.
Okay. So wisdom save.
Bong.
Scores the mightiest of 7s.
That's gonna fail, so I'm gonna give him a little D8.
All right, go for it.
4 points of necrotic damage.
4 points of necrotic damage. You see there's a sensation of energy that kind of courses up the side of him. You can see these blackened spots kind of tickle the flesh of this goblin, and seem to sear, but not otherwise disrupt. Is there anything else for your turn?
Nope.
All right. JJ, your go. What would you like to do?
I'd like to move 30 feet towards the north.
The north
Is
area?
that east? Well, yeah, I'd like to move towards, I guess, the horse.
Okay.
The cart and horse.
Oh, towards the cart and horse. Okay.
Yeah.
So northwest. Do you want to move like closer to here?
Yeah, I just want to be closer to that area.
Okay,
Be
not a problem at
ready.
all. It's a lot easier to jump down than it is to climb up, so easily enough you hop down from the stone, make your way back over to the cart, and what do you want to do?
You said that we saw stuff going towards the northeast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I notice anything that way, or?
From your current vision, no. I mean, there's rocks and a cart and a horse in the way.
I am going to throw an inspiration
Okay.
at Orville and say, snap out of it. Get out of it. And you'll have a 1d6 on your next saving throw or attack. And I'm done.
Okay. So you inspire. Bucky, it is your go. What would you like to do?
It's onto the monster next to Vel.
Okay. You move your
And-
hex onto it.
It's gonna be on its wisdom,
Okay.
and then Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Go for it. Roll to hit.
24.
24 definitely connects, even after shooting through an ally. You're definitely hitting no matter what. Cover
and,
be damned.
13.
13?
13 damage.
Okay. Again, you find your mark striking true. An eruption of eldritch energy crashes through this creature and disrupts its current corporeal form. You see it eviscerated and fall away into shadows, and effectively become one with the earth once again. In doing so, you see it clatter to the ground and otherwise seem to vanish and head its shadowy form heads northeasternly into the overgrown brush of the area. At that point, there doesn't seem to be anything left of note, renowned, or otherwise fear to be in, and you guys have successfully navigated a combat. So, congrats. Let's
Yay.
do
Yeah.
this, this. I'm going to switch one thing here. There's that. Boom. We did it again. Oh, I have to do next. There we go. We did it. All right, so you all stand there. The signs of the battle just recently ended. Give me 1 second here just to move something, and I will continue where we're at. Give me 1 moment.
Somebody want to tell Orville to put his hands down?
Nah.
We're all just chilling. He still thinks there's people.
He hears voices in his head. They talk to him. They tell him
Guess
things.
he's just gonna stay up there, huh?
So something tells me jumping off a rock blind is it's not good for the ankles.
Probably a bad idea.
You're a monk. You'll be fine.
Fair.
You should definitely do a blind backflip.
Ooh.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. had a cat halfway through just meowing up a storm behind me, and I was like, "What do you need?" And turns out they needed water and food. You know, the things that cats need. I was just sitting here, I'm like trying to listen to combat. I'm like, yeah, meow, meow. I'm like, oh goodness. All right, so easily enough, you dispatch these creatures. Very blind Orville stands atop on a stone. Orville, go ahead and make me a intelligence saving throw.
That's an 8 total.
An 8 total, okay. You stand blindly and swinging at nothing in shadows. As the group, you all kind of come to consolidation.
Inspiration.
Oh yeah, you can roll the inspiration.
That was with inspiration.
Oh! You hate to see it happen to the rookie. So, as you guys come to kind of a calm, you take in the area. You note that Orville is still blindly swinging in the air among you. The horse and cart, I need to roll for Lamont at the end of his turn. Rolls an 18. Lamont shakes his head and wipes his face from the small tears of crimson that echo down the front of his face. He kind of takes in the gravity of the situation and looks about, and he goes, "Oh, are they dead? Have we defeated them? Have you slain them, O Weaver's Chosen?"
I believe we have.
I think we have indeed gotten rid of them.
Wait, they're
At
gone?
least for now.
Orville, can you come down?
Wait,
J-
maybe
JJ, I
maybe
can't
one
see.
of us one of us should help you down. That might help if one of us goes up there and helps you down.
Nah,
instead of
I'm
jumping off the
coming
rock.
down.
I'm coming down.
DM, I would like to do a front flip off the rock.
Okay, sure. So like a straightforward front flip.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and give
I'm
me an
gonna-
acrobatics disadvantage since you can't see.
All right.
I'm
let's
gonna
go.
give another inspiration.
Okay.
We're
You
gonna
you
take
shout
that one
you
later.
shout meagerly forward. Do a flip. And he attempts to do said flip. Go for it.
Oh god, I gotta oblige. All right, inspiration on the flip. Let's go.
All right.
Well, that's a nat 1. I don't think we're getting worse than that.
All right. So yeah, you see Orville put his hands together, kind of do that rocking motion, goes for it. You hear JJ do a flip. He goes, all right, and he flips forward blindly and just face plants, full force, non-stop, full tilt, just directly into this stone. You guys hear this thunderous thum sound echo out across the area as a full monk's ability, grip, and sensibilities are left barren across this stone. It's almost like hearing the sound of a skull cracking in real time. Orville, I need you to roll me 3d6.
That's a total of 8.
8, okay. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And with a tumble, complete your full front flip as you hit the second layer of the rock. You all see a clattering of cracking stone, kind of rubble, fall across Orville. He completes his roll down at the bottom with a thud and a sudden stop at the base of this heavy rock. Orville, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's a 9.
That's a 9. You land with a clatter and a thud. JJ, you look over Orville as the dust begins to settle, and you don't see any rise out of his chest.
Well, shit. I guess I'll walk over there.
Okay,
I'll check him,
sure.
see if he's breathing.
Yep, he does not appear to be breathing right now.
Okay, I will cast another healing word on him.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and roll it.
Yep. I can't. 5 points.
Fi- All right, so you cast this healing word. You sing the beginning accompaniment of a song you've done many times, a reminder of home and health. In doing so, you can feel the healing energy wash over Orville, and you watch as if the notes of your song take on a healing property. you look, and with your keen shifter eyes, you see a large mass in the back of Orville's neck, a telltale sign of a separated C-spine, as he had almost snapped his own neck on a front flip, and you see it sickeningly pop back into realignment of his spine. You can hear him gasp back to life as he had nearly murdered himself on a front flip. Orville, you were conscious once more.
And help him up.
All
Am I
right,
still blind?
go and give me a intelligence saving throw. What'd you get? A 2? Yeah, you're still blind.
You need to throw away those dice.
At this point,
Are they
we
clear
can't be 100% sure if you're blind from the effect or you've literally lost your vision from nearly killing yourself. We're not quite sure, but we're gonna ride this wave out together, friend.
Does anyone want to carry Orville? He seems to be having
Just give me a rope. I'm
quite a few
fine.
issues.
While all this nonsense is going on, I just walk past it over towards our benefactor.
So we'll say you walk along the stoned edge. You look over and you can see Mr. Lamont looking over the front right wheel of the wagon, and you can see a heavy set chip cracked out of the wood. And he's like, "Ah, great." He goes, "I'm gonna have to patch this before we continue onward. It won't survive the trip otherwise."
Alright,
Bucky's
is
gonna
there-
pull out
Sorry.
his flute and start playing a song.
Okay. Go ahead and
Mr.
roll performance, Bucky.
Mr. Lamont,
Yes.
17.
what is this all about?
Give me 1 second for Velithil. With a 17, Bucky, you managed to make up for your previous performance earlier in the day before, the day prior, or the night prior, I should say. The song kind of fills the area, and you can see a number of smaller birds kind of land along the tree line from here. Back to Velithil. Vel, you ask what this was about.
Yes.
And he goes, I'm not quite sure what you mean, good lady. I hired you for this exact reason. You never know when there's a blind old woman on the side of the road ready to rob you.
Mr. Lamont, these were not your average ragaband who would merely try to rob us. They were after something in particular, something that I believe you have. And if you wish us to be able to protect you fully for the rest of this trip, it would be in your best interest and ours for you to come clean with us.
Look, I have come quite clean, and I feel that this is a bit of a what do they call this? A shakedown. And I will not have a shakedown. I will write a scathing review if you do not uphold your code as a Weaver's chosen to fulfill the job that I am paying your patron for.
Very true, and I am here to ensure your safety. If
Well-
there are any things that you need to reveal at this time to ensure that you can arrive at your location, these creatures disappeared into the north. They will return.
Well then,
Consider this.
I will consider this with the wisdom in which I am accustomed. If they are to the north and you expect them to assault me and my cargo again, then you take your friends, your fellow chosen, and your little blind goblin man, and you go ahead and you rout them. You destroy them from which they stand. This is what I'm paying you folks for. I am no a new customer to a bit of a scrap. I hired the best. I hired Weaver's Chosen. I could have hired a bunch of sellswords and mercenaries, but no, I went directly to a noble house, and I have a number of protections and expectations for your ability, of which, Mr. Honeycutt, might I just say, you strike with the feather of 1,000 warriors. You are worth every crown I have paid for you, sir.
I'm gonna walk over to him and walk behind him,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna slap a nice firm hand right on his shoulder. And remember that time that I said I'd punch you in the face if they started shooting stuff?
Yes, I don't believe anyone shot anything technically, however.
Well, they start. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself
They did
on that one.
actually.
They did do some magic stuff, and that was my concern. Why don't you go ahead and tell us exactly what we need to know? And I'm gonna start squeezing a little tighter on his shoulder.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a intimidation check.
I was trying for that persuasion, but he don't care about his own safety.
Oh, he cares, but he hired the best.
Dang. We gotta protect our lady too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no.
He's got shitty stuff.
A 14.
14. Okay. He'll roll opposed. All right. So you kind of put the squeeze on him. He goes, "Look, sir, Mr. Honeycutt. I, in hindsight, might not have been entirely forthcoming with your patron, and for that I humbly apologize. Please, if you could sheathe the sword and the theatrics here. I understand. I am not on trial, and as the good lady elf has pointed out, I am merely needing to ensure my safety. I see that ever so clearly now. I thank you for reminding me that a bodyguard of sorts needs all of the information to use the tools at their own hands. I understand now. Thank you for reminding me. I personally do not know why they assaulted us in such a manner. It could be that they are just rampant dried meat aficionados that wish to see harm, or they could be attracted by any of the multitudes of trinkets that I carry that are for little odds and ends and things. I would ask that you please show a bit of leniency and simply know that I trust in your ability to protect the true reason of my journey.
Is this something that's going to get us in trouble again? Because I'm not lying. I'm going to deck you right in the face if I get more magic shot at me. I'm not going to hesitate this time. I'm going to run over. I'm going to see them, and I'm going to run over to you, and I'm going to punch you right in the face first.
All right. Well, I see your statement, your oath, and I shall simply ask and retort, what is it worth to you then for this added, we'll say, your line of work, what is it called, hazard pay? Maybe we could come to a negotiation. Everything has a price, right? So maybe we say, I don't know, an extra 50 coins to you and your friends, and we overlook this matter, and we don't speak on it further.
Here's the thing. You're not talking to a sellsword, you're talking to a soldier. I care about my troops, and if it's going to endanger them, I don't give a shit how much money you're going to give me, alright? So that's what I want to know. I want to know if this is going to be a problem here on out.
I should hope that you have vanquished the problem, but and he looks over to Vel, and he goes, your wizarding type, maybe, has inclined to mention that these creatures retreated to the north. Perhaps if you dealt with them now, they won't be an issue in the future. And then, I'm not saying I'm attempting to buy your lives, but I'm willing to compensate you for the inconvenience of this task.
Well,
Colt?
you can talk to the rest of the... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
I
Bev,
believe
Bev.
we should have a little group meeting, discuss how we want to handle this matter with what we know and what we don't know, consider what we want to do now.
That's fair.
All right, so
Why
guys
don't you
are-
tend to your cart while we have ourselves a little Weaver's Chosen meeting?
Just, yes. Thank you so much. Of course. He
I'm
moves
gonna
the
give
horse
him
in
a
the
nice...
cart.
I'm gonna give him a nice firm, slap when I walk by,
Yeah,
like on
he,
the shoulder.
lurches forward, like,
Oh, slime ball.
At this point, 10 minutes has passed. Orville, your vision slowly returns.
Yay.
I could have him make a saving throw every round, but I'm just gonna go duration on this one and call it a day. So, you all circle up and kind of call a town meeting, and the floor is yours. Don't mind me.
I think we should do it.
Proprietor is obviously unwilling, no matter through reason or persuasive means of Mr. Honeycuts, to provide us any further information. So now we have to consider how we want to handle this. We are on assignment from Our Lady, and this is not something that truly matters. What matters is what we are really been sent for. So, how do we want to handle this? Do we want to go and hunt down these shades, or proceed onward, risking their return in greater force?
Well, if this is something that has to do with him, he can deal with it on his way back. All we have to do is get him there.
It may have something to do
I'm
with
on
what
the
Our Lady
prowl.
needs too. It did sound like he was trying to insinuate something like that, but I can't be certain.
Sounded like he didn't tell her the whole of what he was doing.
Maybe we need to shake him down again.
I don't think that's necessary. He's probably real scared of me right now. Might not break under pressure and give us the
His
information.
stance didn't change. When you threatened him before, he still said the same things. He may not even know what he has. He could be a pawn.
I think he may know something.
Well, how do we want to handle this?
Well, the lady said he was financing us getting there. And then we were making our own way back, so, I mean... Him getting there doesn't seem to be very much an us problem, the way I look at it.
But we did give
Now
him
that I
our
can't
word.
look, that is.
It does look bad on Our Lady, even for a minor delivery, if we are responsible for him not making it to his location. While that may
That's
not
quite
be our
fair.
true objective, we do have 2 tasks here to handle.
Right.
I just don't think that we should venture from the path to deliver him. Should we run into more of these on the way, then we'll deal with it. But to go actively seek them out, I mean, someone's got to stay with him. The cart's not going to be able to go through the forest, so
Very true.
we should stick together, stick with him, not split up the group and just continue forward and try to make haste, I suppose.
I think I agree with that. I just don't see it wise to go off right now and go and try and find him.
Does
Yeah,
everyone
Bucky
else
just
agree?
kind of nods.
Morgan?
Yeah, I'd say let's stick as a group for now. Finish our one objective if we can, and move on from there.
Should keep our eyes more vigilant than ever. They will come back. There's something they want.
Mhm.
Let me try some. And JJ's gonna cast Detect Magic on herself
Okay.
and just kind of mosey around the cart.
Mhm.
Kind of just asking, hey, do you need any help with the cart? And just kind of seeing if there's any sort of magical items or any on him or inside the cart.
Sure. You cast Detect Magic. You wander from the group for a moment. You split off from them. You make casual conversation. You can see that Lamont has already begun taking stacks of wood, these kind of like heavy blocks, and is stacking them up underneath the main front axle so that he can begin work on repairing the front wheel. In doing so, he kind of goes, well, I think I can handle it here. I'm able to do such things. It shouldn't be a problem. We maybe be here an hour or so at most. As he says this, You don't detect any magic on the cart itself, but on him personally, you do sense a very faint aura. You know that detect magic definitely is reduced a bit if the item or whatever has a magical aura is behind a number of inches of stone or anything have you. It definitely feels like there are like seeping fragments of a magical aura that's somewhere on his person.
Alrighty. I'll mosey on back to the group.
All right. Walks back and rejoins you.
So, there's obviously nothing inside the cart, y'all, but he's definitely got some on him. But I can't really tell what it is, obviously, without shaking him down.
All right.
Question.
Yes.
Because I was just in my meditative trance, am I aware one of two things?
Mhm.
That Morgan did a checkout on the cart before in the night, or am I aware of the state that our Mr. Lamar came out of his tent in last night?
You likely wouldn't have known just because of how good Morgan is at her job. That
Sure.
she like investigated the cart. You might have overheard him in a scuffle, like running
Okay.
out. The meditative state is still kind of a deep trance, not so much like
Yeah. There's
like
just still some awareness, like you're not like
yeah.
blind or anything, so I
Yeah.
wasn't sure how we were gonna play it.
Yeah, it's definitely a deep sense of meditation that you kind of zone the world out in. It's enough to be considered rested. But yeah, you didn't have like eyes on him coming out of his tent, but you
Okay.
might have had like kind of like a spine chill moment that something happened, but it wasn't enough for somebody to stir you from your rest.
Then I do not have that thought that I had.
Okay.
Is it worth potentially botching this one job up on the way to do another job just to shake him down to find out what it is?
No, and that might hurt our reputation with the lady anyway.
Well,
Yeah, I agree.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, though. Are you able to do it without shaking him down? What if he's unaware that he lost something?
But we do have a thief.
I mean,
That's true.
but is it worth it getting that close? I mean, for all we know, that's right next to his ball bag, whatever he's got, and we
I
don't
mean-
need to.
I have high
That's the
sleight
problem.
sleight of hand, so
With the lack of
we-
information we have.
We could get him a little drunk, maybe play some music. Then she comes in and sneaks it away, and we see what it is, and then we put it back. It's nothing.
We've decided we're going to move forward now. We're not going to venture after the creatures that attacked us. So we should rest, prepare ourselves, and then in the evening consider our options based upon how he behaves.
What time of day is it?
A little after mid-afternoon, so you're just getting past like high noon. You're getting more closely into, again, like 1 to 2ish kind of vibes.
I think we should travel a bit instead of resting here. I mean,
The cart is broken.
well, yeah. After he's fixed the cart, how long did he say that was going to take?
An hour,
Okay.
enough time to rest.
Oh, all right, we could rest. I
Yeah.
suppose.
Happy to take a rest.
The warlock said.
Warlock's
Sure.
happy to take a nap.
Short rest? Yeah, sign me up.
I get one of my spell slots back too. I'm happy to take a rest.
All right. So simple as the simple does. If you guys are all in agreement, you guys can set up kind of just a short break around here and get in a short rest. During that time, you will recover whatever you might be down as far as for short rest abilities. You can roll your hit dice, and if your bard is so inclined, I think they can roll Song of Rest, but I'm not sure when they get it.
Yes, I was gonna say Song of Rest for y'all.
Okay, so if you guys want, you can roll your hit dice to do recovery, and kind of shore up your hit dice there. We'll go ahead and handle that here off camera, as we are past our 10 o'clock mark. So, very simply, I think this is a good stopping point for next Monday and the beginning of our first session. Only one big issue, but that was just me being a dummy mostly, other than the stream dropping. For everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully, if you enjoyed it and liked what you saw, we'll be back here every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard until about 10, 11 if we're caught in a really big combat or something like that. I don't quite know. But thanks for everyone for hanging out. Hope you had fun. Send all hate mail directly to me, and I'll send you a nice picture of my middle finger. But other than that, hope everyone had a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.